rescue. You want to press people, you're no book. Show me the million rescue. To save somebody, the million rescue.
Yeah. To deliver you from something, take you from something.
So you're a poor people. Rescue me, save. But we the old people. Rescue the million rescue. That you can't help me while here.
That's the same thing.
But Jota Bagara can't tell you the water. He can't pour one making the water back to kill on money. You know they get people the pressure. Husband not working. I live in Church TV. I even made 1,000 a lot. I even made 400 a lot profit. Let me come and go. Children waiting for me. You are Jota Bagara. What will be our result next year? We wouldn't even 1 year. What will be our result the following year?
Okay. Thank you so much. What's your name? What's your name?
My name is Patience Mane.
Patience Mane. You selling the market here?
Yes.
I'm selling the market here?
Yes.
No
market. I'm just son. I follow for Yancy son.
You go for the market, you see so?
Yancy food, call it food price. The way up, you not understand ourselves. When you go to there, you buy another price. When you come, you buy a different price. So the money I can put it back.
Also, the money you carry in, to the cold storage.
You put it back. Very rich.
How much for the face?
You buy snapper 14,000. What is to buy 10,000, 8,000. Buy it for 14,000. One cartoon snapper 14,000. So we beg the government. We ask y'all to help us to beg our government. We say he came to rescue us. But the rescue that you're doing, we're not understanding it. And when they pull the police on the street, our boyfriend here, they're not giving nothing to us again. They say they can't rescue us. Why they cause a motor bomber running? They were not doing the one. They are breaking the government. We the poor people, they must find place for us that we must be able to spare our clothes. They got poor people, they got rich people in the town. Some of us, we not got north from the south God. And then basically we do, we not understand our children went to school. Our children, when we can't say market, we can't make a damn. They say rescue, but we're not understanding the rescue team. So they were taking them from all of the street for smoking, for drugs and things. But I think you see them now. All of them turn to Zoom. They can stay in the freeze.
So the drugs are to you?
Rampant now, more than rampant.
Okay.
The drugs is rampant. Some of them almost 20% on the street because of Zoom.
The zombie drugs?
Yeah, the Zoom that we bring in Jota Bagara we drink. Because we are trying to sell our Kush. But now Zoom, when he said I see that we are so stinking at it. So we asking him to please, we the parent of our boys children, we ask him to please help us to make our children to leave Zoom. Because he said he came to change things. And no change, we not understand our land. Police people getting our keke motor back, hata. Police people beating our children on the street. They say they should raise that, they should become over there, walk over that, everything they do. But what police people are home king? That just one thing we just getting dropping like that. Tell him, don't Napa, tell him sorry. We're not taking somebody out for the country. So we should tell our president to help we the poor people.
Selling money, how's the business?
We get God a great for you don't let me tell what take you for. But money ain't no country in process. For now, if I have to tell you that before we're all there,
famous "Enough is Enough" protest appears to be steaming up, while the president and his team appears to be relaxed and living in luxuries. Some Liberians said that's exactly why they're coming out on July 17th. Thousands of Liberians are threatening to take to the streets of Monrovia, all dressed in white, shouting, "Enough is enough!" They will not just be protesting for the sake of it. They are demanding real accountability from their leaders and justice for Liberians. At the center of the storm is a political crisis that's gripping the country. Lawmakers were fighting over who should be Speaker of the House. Accusations were flying, corruption multiplying, and the people left in desperation from rescue to excuse, and now it's you too. Yes, we did it too is the government new slogan. It's not just a political drama. This deadlock has brought government business to a halt. More hunger and increased prices, including the exchange rate, and the people are paying the price. Things are getting uglier. Enough is enough, they say. The suspicious fire at the parliament, private jets, and disregard for the rule of law must stop. Through all this chaos, ordinary Liberians are standing up. People like
Under the Palava Hut is coming to you live from Liberia. We are transmitting from Liberia to you in the diaspora. So wherever you are, we want to say welcome under the Palava Hut. We will be broadcasting, or in other words, we will be bringing you live activities from Liberia. So at this time, just sit back. We will be having some guests here from Liberia. They will be on the show. So just sit back and enjoy, the best that your electronic device has to offer you this morning. So what you are looking at currently, fellow Liberian, is Liberians that are trooping from every parts of Liberia. They are trooping just right in the center circle, or in other words, they are trooping just right in or at the seat of our own capital. Uh, they are coming from every angle. They are coming from the east part of Monrovia, the west part of Monrovia, the south part of Monrovia. So what you are seeing, these are just Liberians that are trooping in, into Monrovia in order for them to meet at the protest site where they will be able to, present their petition, courtesy of KMTV, courtesy of KMTV. So, courtesy of KMTV, Honor the Palava Hut is bringing you live happenings in Monrovia, courtesy of KMTV. This is what is currently happening in Liberia. Liberians are trooping in from every parts, from every parts, trooping in. Courtesy of KMTV, we are transmitting this from KMTV. You see, so fellow Liberians, what we saw in recent days from the government, this is to tell you how Liberians are fed up. This is just to tell you how Liberians are tired with what this government is doing. Because with all the intimidation, to the extent that government even spend money on people like how you call himself Joshua Meton Blai, on these other guys, the government was able to spend enough money just as to discourage Liberians not to turn up. They did everything that they could do. Imagine, you see, they did everything that they could do in order to discourage Liberians. But as I speak to you, look at what is happening. This is to tell you that, look, Liberians are resolved. This is to tell you that Liberians are ready. This is just an indication to tell you that, look, Liberians are not going to koto. Liberians are not going to be intimidated by this particular useless and kleptocratic government. Liberians will not bow down in fear. This is what you can see. Imagine just these few days, the government of Liberia was able to spend millions, I mean millions of dollars, just as to discourage this particular protest. The government did everything to discourage this protest to the extent that government spent money on other people, like for example, Emmanuel Gonkwe there, they were there causing noise around to the extent that even how you call himself Joshua Merchant Blai and all the other funny people, to the extent even Linsu, you understand, this youth organization which should actually be part of this particular something, they that do not have no relevance, that they have lost value, they were the ones saying we will not be part, will not be part. Now, the people who actually are affected, the people who are affected by bad governance, they are outside. They are outside. Look, Liberians are outside. Nothing will intimidate the people of Liberia because the actual people who are feeling the weight, the actual people who are suffering, the actual people who are the direct recipient of ever negative thing that is happening in this government, these are the people that are awesome. These are the people that are awesome. This is what we are seeing. When the people gets ready, this is what can happen. Not even the ring will stop them. Not even the ring will stop them. Not even the threat from Boyka will stop them. Nothing will stop these people. Nothing will stop these people. We're going to be here. We'll be bringing you, we'll soon have some guests on the show. We will be bringing you happenings from, Liberia and other parts of the country where people have gathered. As I speak to you, even in Nimba, there are people also in Nimba. Yeah, there are people also in Nimba. That's where we are. That's where we are. You see, Liberians are trooping in their hundreds. Liberians are coming out in their hundreds. Oh yes. You cannot intimidate the people. No, the people can never be intimidated. Imagine the government spending money here, there, spending money on people. But at the end of the day, the people are resolved. The people are resolved. Too much of suffering. The people are resolved. You see that? So those of you who are jumping around, this early morning, they post on scalawags on Facebook to talk nonsense. Look at the people. Liberians are resolved. Liberians are resolved. The people are ready to say to Mr. Boyka, Liberia is not your personal property. It's not a property for you and Madam Katumu Boyka. Liberia is for every Liberians. This is it. This is it. This is what you are looking at. Yeah, this is what you are looking at. We know how the government have planted people around to intimidate, to be able to ensure that this protest is cut off. But we are seeing what is going on live and direct, courtesy of KMTV. This is what is happening. This is live, bringing you live what is happening. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are trying to solve the problem with the sound. Just bear with us. We are trying to solve the sound problem. We are tr- so just bear with us while we try to solve the sound problem, please. Yeah, just bear with us while we try to get you the sound. Just bear with us while we try to solve this.
So it is now at a standstill. We're at the ministerial complex. They are now at a standstill.
Good morning to you, my sister Hawatote. Bobby Weezy.
So
You
they
are
have
welcome.
series of
Comfort Davis.
final events. This is
Aisha Tamila.
ministerial protest in North is not, and they say
Mafla Reeves,
generator even more than us.
thank you so much.
In North is
You're
not.
welcome. Jesus is coming soon. Be well, Prince. I hope the sound is better now. I hope the sound is okay. If the sound is okay, just let me know, please.
So what if your petition is not being received today? Will you be in the street for the login?
I will be in the street until you receive it.
So you see that? So welcome to the media. So why are you relate to this protest? So you're English. Thinking who? Welcome.
I'm ministry because our president has discouraged us the whole night. In a sense, they had any position in any time. The waste of Liberian resources that are in the street for. Let me tell you, the waste of Liberian resources. We had any position in any time. We had any position in any time. We had any that was 3 months. That was saying was move on. But at the end of that, I can pull our children and at the end, who are to never tell us what
So we will now take a break because the march here seems to be at a standstill right at the front of the ministerial complex here in Congotan. So we will now take a break and be right back as the march resumes.
Say on go live.
Là, vous voyez, les protestants, les camions, les injections. So there's a said that the stand protest continue here in Monrovia. They stop, they slow down. So there's a set. The protesters are assembling now, waiting for their leader. We no go. Go. So the protester. Wait, take a moment. Take your time, man. Take your time, bro. Take a moment. Yeah. Every rest of the car is this. Okay, rest of the car is this. Level. Take it easy. I think we're around the side of this one. On the side, yeah. Then, take it easy though. Not on the they're around the side. Alright, let it come. Let's slow down, let it come. So there's a set, folks, following Jet Television. Wherever you are, just keep sharing this broadcast. You say what? That was take a one. Okay, okay now. Jerry, that's speed. So the protest has now picked up from the office of stands and moving fast forward to their protest location. Stands chairman. Yeah.
And I went to office today, and we got contest set up. Now our business is coming. That the city will got here today. Joseph Paga knows it, and I against him, and I against once he's president for everyone. But he should know that everything that we're speaking here today, it shouldn't happen again. When you travel him up, we want your groundbreaking. We want your things happening. We want to see the employment of the young people. We want to see the restaurants coming down. We want to come and look at for English.
But the people say that so they will say that the president is not doing well, and we're seeing less than what. And we see.
Well, folks, and would like to say WAP TV Liberia, and then I think Mobake Molu Farm organizer stands of this July 17th protest. They might be on their way now to where we are. I think it's just some distance long before they reach here. We're going to continue to bring you this live coverage of this march to Capitol Hill to petition the government as that's been their constitutional rights under Article 17. So now I think the momentum continue to build up, and as Mobake Molu is on his way here, and now he's going to be joining other the solidarity forces that will be providing coverage from. That are now here from the angles of the coalition of democratic change. But from a distance, we are now looking at I think Mobake Molu is now on his way, and his fellow protesters is interrush.
So this is the situation. Let me bring you exactly what is happening here. Let me bring you exactly what is happening here. You see it for yourself. These are the protesters. This is OK TV. We will never lie to you. These are the two floats. These are the two floats. These two low beds were decorated by the Mobake Molu Enough is Enough campaign, and as you can see from what I'm saying, they are all empty. Only the drivers are driving these two vehicles. So we will bring you exactly as it unfolds. So we will go a bit of air. As far as I can recall at the moment, Moses Akarosgbe is a major figure now from the opposition who is accompanying Mobake Molu and his group. We will never lie to you. Here. Here. Folks, thousands of Liberian journalists.
So, fellow Liberians, this is just to tell you that all of the money Mr. Bueka spent throughout this process, it did not work. You see, this is what happens when a process is led by the people themselves. When the people are not depending on any politician. So you see what is happening here? It is the people themselves that are leading it. This is not attached to no political party. They say, or a party A or a party B. But these things that we are seeing, it was initiated by the people themselves. The people themselves initiated. You know, when the people are feeling the pinch, there is no amount of propaganda that you can run and you think that it will survive. This is just the group that are coming from one portion of Monrovia. I'm talking about the people that are coming from New Town, the people that will be coming from West Point. Do you even see that crowd yet? So, Mr. Bueka, all of the money that you spent, it did not work. It went in vain. You cannot use any propaganda to be able to pacify the people when they are suffering. You cannot use propaganda to think that you can pacify the people. No, you can't do it because everything that is happening is physical. The people are affected by the bad governance. What we are seeing in Liberia, it is not like what the Unity Party they were doing, where they were lying around here. It is physical. The killing of our people by police is physical. We are seeing it. We are seeing it. The hardship increase in police brutality. The murder of our people in King George is physical. We are seeing it. It's not something that was done, by means of how you call, somebody will say maybe AR. No, it's not AR. This is reality. But as I said, we will be joined here by, some guests. So we will be joined by some guests on this platform, and hit for us the share button as we bring you happiness in Liberia. As we bring you happiness in Liberia.
I don't know. Some guys just enter in the crowd. We don't know exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to lower this, fellow Liberians. We will be joined by some very, very, very important personality. Very important personality. So hit for us the share button while we get ready. Make sure everything is
coming.
Bring our guests
enter the crowd.
the chairperson of COSAN, National Student Alliance of the University of Liberia. They have joined.
All right, so fellow Liberians, we are going to lower the sound here. Again, fellow Liberians, home and abroad, it's a privilege. We are going to have with us here, while we lower this sound, we are going to have with us the former Deputy Executive Director at the Environmental Protection Agency of the Republic of Liberia, the Honorable Randolph Masekwe Dogbayu. We're going to have him here with us. And we're also going to have some very key figure, that will be here with us.
I'm trying to search for them.
We have, sorry, bear with
maybe
me.
to find out why they have decided to join this.
Hello, Prince Sharif.
Yes, sir. Just bear with us a bit. I want to set something here.
Okay, good.
Trying to search for them. They were, I think, 2, 3, 4. Omar, you want to talk to us more? Okay, no problem. You want to talk to us more? Okay. Omar, we can talk to you?
Okay.
All right, no problem.
Just a minute. Let me just set the sound and everything.
All right, so
and
why
then
are you
I'll
joining
be
this
with you.
protest?
I joined the protest because I got hospital. My children are suffering. The level I was studying, I owing the people a penny. My children not to get what I've been to. One of my sons I left to the best. He taking to me. And no pilot to help me. So I asked the worker to know a position. He said you are coming rescue. And then why it is I still get drugs. I want to smoking drugs laying down the drug back. So we got the worker. Let you get a swimming, let you get a push, let you get a drama. That's what we got to eat. We're going to get nothing to offer in America. You say yes, sir, yes, sir. Like, yes, sir, worker carry. And yes, sir, we eating. So we tired. We're going to get control. We're going to let worker give our control. Go free them back.
I think we are all set right now. So we are going to lower the sound. So fellow Liberians, again, we are grateful. We want to use this time to welcome each and every one of you. Let's put this behind here. We want to use this time to welcome each and every one of you on the Palava Hall. It's a privilege for us to be here. We are grateful to have with us a very important personality, as I said earlier. This particular individual that we will be having here, that will actually be giving us a kind of, somebody will say maybe play-by-play description, or will be giving us, a kind of overview of what is happening in Liberia and looking at other issues that is happening in the governance space of our country. He will actually be driving us through. And we have here with us, fellow Liberians, the former Deputy Executive Director. The former Executive Director at the Environmental Protection Agency. He's here with us. He also serving as the current Deputy Secretary General for Records and Research of the Coalition for Democratic Change. By extension, that is the Congress for Democratic Change, if you want to be particular. Honorable Randolph Dogbayu, welcome on the Palava Hall, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, my dear brother, Prince Sharif. I'm glad to be on your show. Later on, you're going to have Samuel Jacob. You're going to have Eddie Estrawari. You're going to have scores of other officials joining us as well. So I'm just making some technical adjustment. Just give me like 5 minutes and you're going to get me very, very, very loud and clear.
All right. Sure. Okay. No problem. All right. So fellow Liberians, just get yourself set, hit the share button. Share with as many persons as you can share with. Share with as many persons as you can share with. It's going to be a very wonderful time here. We're going to be diving into so many, many, many things here. So just get ready. Grab yourself a bottle of juice or bottle of water while we get set and put things together. Wow, this is what happened when the people are tired. This is what happened when the people are tired. With all of the money that this government spent just to thwart this process, all kind of propaganda was played, police intimidation, all the nonsense that they did. At the end of the day, Liberians are outside. This is not even all of the crowd. This is just the crowd that is coming from the state headquarters. This is the crowd that is coming from the state headquarters. You are not seeing those from New Cruton. You are not seeing those from West Point. You are not seeing those that are coming from the red light area. You are not even seeing those that are coming from other parts of Monrovia and its environment. So you can see that the people are resolved. But it's going to be a wonderful time. I'm telling you, it's going to be a wonderful time here. It's going to be a wonderful time. Hit for us the share button, and we're going to have a very, very great and wonderful time here. Yeah, with all of these great panelists that's going to be on, commentating, giving us, somebody will say, a kind of clearer picture and describing what is happening in Liberia. It's going to be wonderful. So you don't want to miss it. I will advise you, grab yourself a bottle of water, a bottle of juice, sit down, and let's get ready to go into this discussion, which will be very wonderful.
We will come here and bring you exactly what is happening.
Hello, Prince Sharif.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are here, sir. Okay, that's great. That's great. We are here. All right. Let's just do this right here. Okay. All right. So, fellow Liberians, home and abroad, again, it's a privilege, and we are so excited to be here with a very, very, very important personality, one who understands, the political atmosphere of Liberia. Somebody will say the political dynamics of Liberia. One who is not just, maybe one will say a common person, but he understands in depth, and we are grateful to have him here with us. Like I said, we will be joined by so many other astute leaders, or one would say important figure in our society. So please grab yourself a bottle of water, a bottle of juice, get ready. Let's bring you all of the information that you need to know. But again, I want to say to you, Honorable Dugwayu, welcome again under the Palava Hut, sir. Welcome. I'm sorry, you are muted.
Thank you very much, Brother Prince Sharif. Thank you for the job you do for the Liberian people. Thank you for the sacrifices, Prince Sharif. I've been in America as a permanent resident for about 13 years. 13 years. I know what it means to live in the United States of America and offer yourself to do the work you do. You have to pay bills. You have to cater to your family. I've known you for about 15 or 16 years now, Prince. We were in AMU. I was a leader. You were a scout. You were the commander for the scout, a very productive national steward. You served our country. I knew you from the school. And when you came to America, you have a lot of opportunities. You opted to divide your time to serve the Liberian people. And you get nothing in terms of financial dividend in return. You do this because of your strong sense of patriotism, because you believe that in America, if life can be better, you believe that life can be better in Togoitan. You believe that life can be better in Zlatan. You believe that life can be better in Hindi, in Modouin, and everywhere in Liberia. And so let me commend your effort, Brother Prince Sharif. You've been consistent with your advocacy. You've been consistent on this Palava Hut, and this Palava Hut is helping to make Liberia a better place. I wanted to start up this show by thanking you and appreciating your individual effort that is helping to make our country a better place. Yeah.
We are humbled by the commendation. Thank you so
Yeah.
very kindly for acknowledging our effort. And I also want to thank you. It's a privilege to share the platform with you. Down the line, in our political sojourn, you also play a very important, a pivotal role at the level, of the AME University. From student politics, from SAM all the way, to the national politics. You help, put us in the one would say the lamplight, and want to say thank you so very kindly. So it's a privilege for me to share the platform with you. Thank you so very kindly. So,
Well,
I know you are not a stranger when it comes to, the social media, or, one would say the television or whatever it is. But
yeah.
for the sake of today's discussion, we just want you to please, introduce yourself, give us a little historicity so that the people will know who is on the platform with us and the wealth of experience and knowledge that you come with. So, who are we here with? Who is Honorable Randolph Masekwe Dobayu?
W is the son of the bushman, as I usually call myself, man with ideas. I came from some of capital bypass. Went to Cathedral Catholic School where I obtained my secondary education. Of course, at AMU that you referenced, where I had a Bachelor of Art degree in sociology, and then had the opportunity to use the internet very wisely to navigate my way to America. In America, came here, went to school, technical school, became a certified technician HVAC and wind turbine technology. And not being certified, I was able to further myself. I went to Alabama State University where I got a certificate in global climate science and early warning communication. At the university, there is this university called East Coast Institute in Chicago where I became an EPA certified universal technician. And then I also went to Clark University where I got a Master of Science in Environmental Science and Policy with concentration in climate change, impact, and adaptation. And after so many years, I went back home. You all know at the time Joshua gave me an opportunity to serve as Deputy Executive Director of the EPA after our regime was asked to rest by the Liberian people. I was in the law school, but I paused the law school, went back online, got a scholarship this time around to do a specialized course in sustainable food system. This time around, I got additional masters in sustainable food system with emphasis in climate smart agriculture. Because I'm from a country we are so hungry, we are not food secure, we have no food sovereignty. And because of this basic social reason, I opted to do that. And also, I had a chance to do a specialized course as well in Harvard University, where I have a certificate in the strategic management of regulatory enforcement agency. So this is me. I'm a technician. I'm a climate change expert, a renewable energy expert, and a practical guy. From a political background, I once served the Youth League as the co-chair for political affairs. I also serve as co-chair for welfare. And in the United States of America, I serve as chairman on membership committee. I serve as assistant secretary for CDC USA, and then I serve as the youngest secretary and the youngest acting chairman for CDC USA. These are my credentials. There are many, but I just thought to give a little summary. And of course, I'm a patriot. I love my country. I also teach. I joined instructor of global climate science at the AMU University, and I've done that periodically when I'm available. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very kindly, Honorable Dobayu, for that. I want us to go first straight into the political aspect of your life. Tell us, what actually draw you or what interests you to be, very involved, with politics, like with the kind of person you are, and your background. As an academician, one who have given all of his time to academics. one would say, why choose politics? Such a brilliant young man, why choose politics? Why you decide to enter into the political field, and why not any other field, but why politics, sir?
So I'd like to welcome my dear brother Eddie S. Trawaye. Eddie is on, another brilliant scholar from the Youth League, another brilliant scholar from the CDC, and another brilliant scholar from the slums of Liberia. So my entire life, my dear brother, I was born amidst difficulty. Our eyes opened up to the war. We were refugees in the articles, and we read the historical literature of our country. There were a lot of governance contradiction, people of the elite class who were given power, who came from the hegemonial land, the misapplied power, and their misapplication of power, it had a Rubicon, an adverse and extreme negative effect on us as young people. And so when we started reading literature, we started reading the political literature of our country, we thought that we needed to create a situation of a new breed. We needed to come out to be intuitive about governance. And so we started with our involvement at the level of high school. In Cathedral, I contested to be president. I was defeated by 6 votes. I was never discouraged. I started heading the press club in Cathedral Catholic School. I went to AMU and became a student leader. And so we got inspired again when our eyes started opening around 2003, 2004. We saw a man named George Weah who used his wife, who used his accumulation, his global fame, his resources, his hard-earned resources. He used those resources to impact people when we were refugees in the Ivory Coast, when we were refugees in Ghana. So his life inspired us to become who we are today. His life inspired us to get involved into politics because through all his life, he taught us humiliation. He taught us to not be egoistic, to always want to solve people's problems, to make society a better place. And so because of our desire, our entrenched desire to make society a better place, from a very tender age, we opted to get involved with politics because the old elite have disappointed us. The old elite have done nothing to transform our country to where we want it to be. And so we got involved. And our involvement in a very limited time has had some positive effect. And this is the reason why we are involved. This is the reason why we have no regret. This is the reason why we keep being the voice of the voiceless. This is the reason why we are here today, Prince Sharif.
Thank you again so very kindly. At this time, fellow Liberians home and abroad, we want to use this time to welcome Honorable Eddie Trawaye. Honorable Trawaye, you are welcome, sir. I'm sorry, unmute yourself, please.
You're on mute, yeah.
Thank you so kindly, Mr. Sharif. Basically, I'd like to use this medium to begin to extend my gratitude to you, Mr. Sharif, for the tremendous work you have done over the period of time and consistently doing in defense of the ordinary masses of our people. You are one of the brothers that have won my admiration. You have combated the reactionary forces consistently, irrespective of the challenges that is befitting us. You have never backed down to any golden image. You remain an absolute and upstanding revolutionary leaders of our party, and I'm glad today to be on your platform to share some discourse relative to the calamities that are befalling our Liberian people. It is unfortunate, and so today I'm happy to be on your platform. I'm at my office. I'm basically doing multitasking, doing some responsibility at the same time, providing my services to ensure that the needed deliberate arguments that should be projected on your platform must solely be elevated. So I'm at your disposal, Mr. Sharif. I'm very excited to be on your platform today.
Thank you so much. We are very grateful to have you here. So let's just start. Can you just introduce yourself to the thousands of Liberians that are listening, so that at least they will have an appreciative knowledge of who Honorable Trawaye is?
Thank you again, Sharif. I'm a humble guy, Mr. Sharif, and Mr. Eddie Trawaye is a humble guy who came from a very humble beginning. I hail from Lofa County. I'm a Mandingo by tribe, Baketu specifically. And I started my journey with very tough environs, very difficult time. I started my studies in Lofa County and Vanjama City. Subsequently came to Monrovia during the war, and after which we we were able to navigate our way into the system, and we went to the demonstration public school on Clay Street. After a couple of time, after a period of time, we were able to also navigate to the G.W. Gibson High School, and we spent some time there with Brother Mohammed Gandhi, former president of Lingsu, Brother Emmanuel Johnson, the National Youth League chairman, and a lot of young brothers who today we still share the historical bloodline with. And I can remember vividly when Ronald Dobayu, in his tender age, was actively involved into academia. These are guys when we saw, a native boy from Lofa County experiencing a boy from Grand Nigeria involved into academia, we got inspired. I feel that Dixon, Jefferson Kochi, and the likes of the other intellectuals and very inspiring young brothers in our country today who are now leaders of a huge generations of our people who were inspired by them. So we begin to take the battle through. And so in our period at G.W. Gibson, after serving in G.W. Gibson, we later navigated the Painesville because of the difficult economic challenges. But then we came to Painesville, Dubaru. In Dubaru, it was a difficult moment for us. We went to a school called Dominion Christian Institute, where I served as a janitor for 5 years to complete my high school academic journey. So I was janitor in high school. I served with dedication. I served with utmost respect to ensure that I can get the necessary desires. Upon that, I was able to navigate at the University of Liberia. I was one of the young cadre who was in two universities concomitantly. I was in the AM Design University studying criminal justice and sociology with an emphasis in law enforcement. And at the same time, I was at the University of Liberia reading public administration and political science. So I graduated from the two universities with distinctions: the University of Liberia Political Science and Public Administration, the AM Design University Criminal Justice, and with emphasis in law enforcement. In our involvement in the politics of the country and the youth and student community in the synopsis, from Linsu from Soup to Linsu, Fly, Mana River Union Parliament, it spent into a combustion of what we call inflammatory political combustion that saw us out. So at that moment, we were identified by a smart brother to join the revolutions. We were inspired, and we joined the revolutions with the greatest political party in the history of our country, called the Mighty Congress for Democratic Change, as a young cadet. And so we were there as a young cadet. In 2005, we began to serve our institution, and we soldiered on for a substantial period. Through these processes, and upon the triumphant victory of the president, President George Manuel Weah, we were given the opportunity to serve our country in very dignifiable and respectable directions. And so we serve our nation in the scope of 2 years. And we said to the president, Mr. President, there have been a rumor mongerings and a mere propaganda that spelled over the Mighty Congress for Democratic Change, that the young people in CDC are not educated, they don't want to go to school, and they don't want to be capacity themselves. Against that background, Mr. President, will it be a good thing that some of us leave the country and go out to studies? And the president was glad enough. He said, young man, it's all yours. And so we left the country. We came to the United States, to New York. It's where we obtained a master's degree in criminal justice with an emphasis in international crime and justice. We focus on counterterrorism. Basically, the trend of criminality is becoming a global patterns and a global trend of criminality. So you need to understand the patterns and the trail of crime, transnational crime, narco terrorism, and the rest of the international crime surrounding it. So we begin to dive into international crime and justice, and we obtain the masters in international crime and justice. We did not say that. we were very enthusiastic, very focused, very courageous to ensure that we can obtain another educations. And so we went back to serve our country. And in the process of serving our country, we also obtained an opportunity to come to the United States of America to do another master's at the Penn State University. If you know, Penn State University is one of the Hecadios and Avalon schools within the Pennsylvania chapter, where presently I'm concluding another master's in criminal justice with emphasis in policy administration. So it's much more policy driven. It's a policy formulations, formulating law enforcement policy, formulating how institutional criminal justice institution can be more policy driven to make significant impact in terms of the effectiveness and efficiencies of law enforcement. It's driven mostly in the more like way transcending from the patterns of brutal law enforcement to a much more civil law enforcement directions. And that is one of the patterns Mr. Gregory Cuomo have lost. He does not have no fundamental policy-driven argument and idea to run the Liberian National Police because he's being robbed when it comes to idea. I think one of the theory that Mr. Abraham Kruman has unleashed, has cultivated the Liberian National Police, and is what the police is presently driven with. It's called the broken window theory. That is an antiquated law enforcement principle called the broken window theory, where you use force to deter people in terms of how you can govern the state and move the country forward. And that theory does not work in contemporary criminal justice euphoria or contemporary law enforcement system. And so basically, in the synopsis, that have been my educational sojourn, my struggle through the process. And I did not include Cotton University because I was in Cotton Graduate School where I did another master's in local government and rural development administration. But I mean, these are the historical itinerary about our struggle in terms of academia, in terms of the Martin Congress for Democratic Change. We served in the district level of the Martin Congress for Democratic Change. We left from the district level. We navigated to the National Auxiliary when Jefferson Koshi was the chairman on the National Auxiliary of the Martin Congress for Democratic Change. I served as a spokesperson to Jefferson Kochi in the National Auxiliary of the Martin Congress, and later on left on the auxiliary level and navigated to the national executive of the Revolutionary National Youth League of the Martin Congress for Democratic Change. Served as a public relations officer, PRO, basically spokesperson. Left from that position, served as vice chair for legal and legal affairs. Served with dedications. And presently, as I speak to you, I'm still serving in the capacity as the vice chair for political affairs of the Martin Congress for Democratic Change. Unfortunately, Prince Zo, I would have really loved to be home, involved with the protests, mobilizing the forces and combating the regime, irrespective of our role we play in the government. Our role are clear. But because of the hekidences of our academic involvement, we couldn't make it. I mean, master is a very difficult thing. So you have to read a lot of people. A lot of people. You have to read a lot of cartoons. You have to read a lot of people. You have to respond to a lot of, particularly when you're dealing with the training system. It's a very difficult. For those of you who did studies in America, you have a system called the training system. It's very academically challenging. So you need to do what we call academic peer reviews. So, I mean, it's a difficult task. But hopefully, we'll conclude and we'll go back on the battlefield. We will confront the desperate, dangerous attempt of Mr. Baka and his dangerous government. We fear nothing.
Thank you so very kindly. We like to go through this so that people can have an appreciation of those who are on the platform. Like you said in your earlier opening, there are people who have this perception that, the young people, in CDC, these people, they are not educated, they are just bunch of, one would say, riff raffle, you're just passing all around the place and have no idea. So now, fellow Liberians, you have a clear picture of those that we're about to discuss with, especially as it relates to their own political background, that you will begin to now appreciate it, and it will help to be able to, demystify some of the myths that you people are having. That when young people are associated with the CDC, it means these people are maybe societal dropout, they have no way out, or they have lost their direction in life. So Now you can see that the people that we are talking about, these young people, they are well schooled. They possesses all of the academic credential and accolade to discuss the topic in full depth. So, sit back, enjoy it, and let's have a wonderful time. So I want to start from you to just enter straight into what we're supposed to enter into. The CDC as a political institution endorse the stand protests, especially the Youth League. In fact, the Youth League was the very first to endorse the stand protests. What led to the Youth League that you are a member of endorsing this particular stand protests?
So thank you. So one of the fundamental background of the Youth League decision is basically tailored towards the hostility, the hostile style of government of Mr. Bwaka and his gangster. Mr. Bwaka and his gangster have consistently and repeatedly violated our constitution blatantly, without regard. He have utterly disregarded the constitution of our country. Mr. Bwaka have been consistently involved into a dangerous schemes of executions of many Liberian citizens. He have been involved into that. He have set up a gang of executors. Imagine you have people that born naked, a dangerous warlord. This man who have killed multitude of people. He have confessed in public glare. He have said that he killed babies, thousands of babies, and drink their blood. This is the man that Mr. Bwaka have hired to execute Liberian peaceful citizens. Not only that, the King George massacre. Mr. Bwaka have employed a SOD police director, a warlord police director, an incompetent brat called Gregory Comont to spearhead one of our elite law enforcement in our country, one of the most respectable and dignifiable unit within our country, the Liberian National Police. Mr. Gregory Como have derelegated the Liberian National Police. He has brought the Liberian National Police to a public disrepute, a absolute disregard with the Liberian National Police. The King George massacre. Mr. Gregory Como was involved in the assassinations of Liberians in the King George massacre. This is what the Youth League is clear and categorical to ensure that we're standing up with the people and the Liberian people. Not only that, Mr. Bwaka have consistently violated what we call the Supreme Court decision. You see, in criminal justice, there are three basic components of the criminal justice system. In order to maintain the rule of law, peace, and security, these three basic components must be respected to the highest level. You have the police, you have the court, and you have corrections. Juvenile justice system and prosecution are sub-component. But those three major criminal justice components of our country must be respected and equally served. Mr. Bwaka have blatantly disrespected the Supreme Court decisions. We have degenerated our entire criminal justice system. If you can disrespect the decision of the Supreme Court, there is no rule of law. There's no law and order. Then where are we in terms of how we run in the country? Where are we in terms of how the people can seek redress when there are injustices that is affecting our nation? It is against that backdrop the Youth League begin to stand up. The Youth League have chose to stand up with the people of our country. And we hold no regret to that. We will stand up with our people because Mr. Bwaka have no regard for the Supreme Court. Not only that, Mr. Bwaka have consistently disrespected our political leader. Look, for typical example, my brother, you got the airport. The executive lodge of the airport was constructed by President George Manuel Weah. Mr. Bwaka have no idea of that constructions. It was the ingenuity, it was the investment, it was the ideas of President George Manuel Weah to have constructed that airport. Mr. Bwaka and his gang of looters have deliberately denied and disrespected President Weah from accessing that facility. That is the background for which we will stand up with our people. Not only that, Mr. Bwaka, I'm arrested on this note. Not only that, Mr. Bwaka have been clearly seen in absolute looting of the state, and absolute looting of the state. Could you imagine the president travel over $100,000 on just a credit card? Over $100,000 on just a credit card. What are you doing when the people in our country are suffering? When the masses cannot get the deliberate to sustain and survive in the country? What the president is reading with 100,000 plus on a credit card. The sycophancy that the president demonstrated over the period. The president have said to the Liberian people that private jet was a taboo. Private jet was a taboo. President Weah was riding private jet. He claimed that it was a luxury, but now the president have taken private jet now as a normal way of life. It's a blatant, what we call a blatant insult to the faces of the Liberian people. You lie. What must you lie to the Liberian people? These and many more are reasons why the Youth League with John Ranks with NN revolutionary grouping to engage and combat the system and bring Baka to check. And we will not cease. We will consistently engage Mr. Baka and his dangerous gangster to ensure that this country should be put on the rightful path. And we will not cease to do so. So I'm going to pause at the moment and allow another question or my colleagues can go through as we jumble through this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so very kindly. Honorable Dogayu, the CDC as a political institution have had its own terrible, past, one would say. The 6 years, all was never rosy. There were challenges. Today, under the Bouaka administration, there are also challenges that the Liberian people are going through. What makes this particular protest different from the one that was held under your regime that you serve? What makes it different? When one would say the problems are the same. Why is it that the CDC, as the Youth League, is amplifying this as if, a such thing has never happened before in the history of Liberia, or the people have never gone through the kind of suffering or, the problem that they are faced with? So what makes this protest completely different, or these problems that we are incurring under this Unity Party government different from what you went through?
So the Unity Party, there's a significant difference. You can compare a 45-year-old child to a 20-year-old child. They are not equal. There's a huge generational gap in terms of experience, gap in terms of opportunity, gap in terms of everything. There is a huge gap. Now, the Unity Party has been a proponent. They have been a mechanical proponent of the problems of Liberia. The Unity Party was founded since the 80s. CDC was founded in 2005, 2004, the first election in 2005. So the problems of our country, Unity Party has been an engineer. You know, the elections of 1985. When Manasa Leave, they were only Liberia. She was with the Liberia Action Party. Then there was a Unity Party in that election. When she did not, because now the Action Party and the Labour and the Unity Party, they merged into one unit. So they are still the same. When they contested in that election, they did not win. She went up the mountain. Working from up the mountain was 1980. Working from up the mountain was the 1990 war in Butuo, and we fought senseless war up to 2003. Every time the Unity Party lost this election, there is a confusion, there is chaos. And so their protest in our is a big issue because they were the creator of the problem. We are the victims of the problem. We are the receptor. We are the recipient. They are the creator of the problem. But when we came to power in 2017, we won. 2018, we came to power. They made it seem that Liberia only started 2018 to 2023. They made it seem that there was no Liberia prior to CDC government. They made it seem that everything was rosy and CDC destroyed them. Whereas those were the proponents of destruction. Those were the people who destroyed Liberia from its fabric. And so they manipulated, they consistently lied. The governors, all resources against us. They were consistent with inciting against the governance of the state. They sat in America or other places. They lie about Justina Taylor. They lie about things that were not happening. They inflame the situation about 16 billion. They trained the masses around, they manipulated the masses. You know, we live in a society of acute gullibility. And so this protest is strange because what is happening now is organic. It's organic, it's a natural occurrence from the belly of the people. It's a natural occurrence because from the day of Bouakar's inauguration, corruption started radiating from him. We saw this gentleman called Crespi, the Minister of State, walking broad daylight on camera to the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, and he looted broad day $500,000 money that was meant for people that have worked throughout their life, so that when they shall have retired, they use that money to get prepared for their grave, to live their adulthood or their old age. Joseph Bouakar's Minister of State stole that money and nothing has happened. You asking what is different from today's protest and yesterday's lies? What is different is that on the day of inauguration, Mr. Bouakar could not account for $650,000 that was given to Luther Tapet. Luther Tapet is the chairman of the Fair Unity Party. That money was intended to mobilize people everywhere in Liberia to do their celebration. The money was eaten and no accountability. What is different from today's protest is that when the Liberians, during the campaign, Joe Bouakar, okay, the screen should remain like this. I think it should remain like this while we are having conversation. Let the people see what we are talking about. So Prince Sherry, let the screen remain like this, right? So 2023, when Joe Bouakar was running campaign in Loken Town, to be precise, he said when he come to power, the first thing he's going to do, all Liberians will have free health care, and Bee Mountain, their mining concession will be repealed, because in his mind then, Liberians were not benefiting from such concession near. When he came to power a few months later, men and women in Kinjor, they governors into a group, amalgamated their community efforts and say, we are going to remind these people about our just benefit. Jobs that we can do are given to foreigners, and foreigners are disproportionately paid more than us. So based on this, we're going to protest. What happens? Those people were killed point blank. They were killed against the rules of engagement. Men with no arm were killed by Joe Bouakar and his government. What is different from this protest? These are die-hard facts that are radiating out of me on this show. These facts are verifiable. These are difference between our protest and the protest of Joe Bouakar. If you ask me what is different, look, this is a list of human rights violations under the Joe Bouakar government, and I'll read just few. These lists have been compiled and published. I can share this link with you, and you can put it up. Let people see this link and verify them. If publication have been made, I will share them with you very shortly. Names of people that have been killed under the Joe Bouakar government, and nothing has happened. I'll read few of these names while I share them with you. Number one, this is published on July 2nd, 2024. Maurice Goman is published by the Front Page Africa. Maurice Goman was killed in cold blood. He was. It is a 1-year-old man. To this point, no police report has been presented. To this point, Maurice Goman family, his children, his daughter, his pregnant wife, he had a 42-year-old pregnant wife. No accountability, no justice. This family is grieving. No police report. Today, when the people have rise up, you have untrained Gregory Common having a female doing a senseless push up only to intimidate the public. So what is different from today's protest is that genuine issues have arisen. The people have been suppressed. The people have been intimidated. Franklin Dako on March 12, 2024, published by Front Page Africa, right? The police charged a man for murder for alleged stabbing a 16-year-old boy. That 16-year-old boy who was alive, who was killed, and police saw the pictorial. People testify. To this point, no report, no police investigation. The police don't care. A man died in police custody. He was only detained. Police has not investigated. And I will share a link with you, and you can read these names, and you can read the name of the newspaper that published these articles. Credible information. Nothing whatsoever has happened. Today in your community, when there is armed robbery, today in your community, when there is looting, when there is rape, you call on the police, you will not see them. But when men and women who are suppressed by the regime, who are suppressed by the unscrupulous oligarch, then you bring out police to suppress it. It will not happen. So that is the difference between today's protest and yesterday's protest. Today's protest, we are not giving food and water. Yesterday's protest, people were giving food and water. The theory of democratic policing was mainstreamed by our government. And Eddie will talk more about the theory of democratic policing. He started talking about tyrannical and suppressive policing, and he's the expert in that. But practical ideas and simple man knowledge has revealed to me. I've lived in civilized world. I know how people protest. I know what government responsibility is. Our government has been irresponsible. Our government has been a criminal government. Our government came to power on the banks of lies, deceit, and dishonesty. And these are the dishonesty that the people are expressing a discontent against. The people have said enough is enough. Our passiveness over the years doesn't suggest stupidity. Our passiveness over the years doesn't suggest that you are doing all right. We were giving you time to tell us what this rescue mission is about. Instead, we recognize that this rescue mission was all about 700,000 being given to Madam First Lady. When the First Lady, Claude Marie Weir, was given 200,000, they said it was enough. This First Lady is giving about 700,000. She hasn't built a single hut. What she does is to go to Ghana and erect some weed that she never had on her head when she was a young girl, living an opulent life that she never lived when she was in CWA. She is sharpening frequently on shame, using the people money. This is the fundamental reason why the people are out there today. You know, this morning the rain was falling, and people were saying, they were mocking the people. Now you are seeing on your street is lie. The people are outside. You do not deceive the people. The people don't have telephones in Nikutan. They don't go on live. The reason why you're seeing it live now is because it's getting closer to Monrovia, and the journalists are all posted there. Monrovia will be besieged by the people's power. Monrovia is besieged. The people are after. Baka must be accountable, Mr. Prince Sharif.
Baka must be accountable. Thank you so much. We want to welcome our own brother Eric Pevez, who is the CEO of the Diaspora Allied. Honorable Eric, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sharif. Thank you.
Thank you. You are not a stranger to this platform, so welcome to the conversation. I want to get to you, Honorable Trawale. One would say that this protest that is organized by, a civil society organization that has nothing or no political attachment, that your involvement into this particular protest has taken away the value of the protest. What do you say to that? People who say no, probably without the CDC Youth League or without, some other individuals that are associated with the CDC, it would have been better. But now that you have joined this particular protest or you have endorsed the protest, in fact, the protest has lost its value. You've taken away the entire message of the protest. How do you respond to that, sir?
That's a lazy argument. Those who parading with this kind of argument are Unity Party boys. These are the same Unity Party boys after serving and looting the country for over 12 years. In less than 1 month, they organized protests all over the country. The same Unity Party boys who are parading with this lazy argument was the same guy who served for 12 years and looted the country. Mr. Barker served as vice president for over 12 years. For 12 years. He served in public service for 40 some more years, 42, some people may say 47 years. Mr. Barker have accumulated a lot of wealth from the Liberian people, stolen wealth from the Liberian people. When Mr. Barker left the presidency as a vice president, in less than no time, Mr. Barker organized protests. The Unity Party boys organized protests. They were passing around with misinformation, lies, and falsifications of information. They lied to the Liberian people. They talk about 16 billion. They talk about 25 million. When the international investigator came out and clarified that all this information are just propaganda and misinformation that could plunge the state into anarchy. Now today, it is the same guys who parading the corridor. Why is it that we are protesting? Why should the CDC, join the protest? When there are injustices against the Liberian people, the CDC will stand with any organization. We do not care. It is up to them to interpret how they want to interpret it. When the Liberian people are suffering, when you lie to the Liberian people that you reduce the prices of rice, and the prices of rice is high, we will join the Liberian people. When you lie to the people that you reduce the prices of gasoline and the prices of the gasoline are high, we will join the Liberian people to stand up. When you lie to the Liberian people that private jet was a taboo and you couldn't ride private jet and non-private jet now have become a luxury, we will join the Liberian people. That video you're showing, it is a video from the Somalia Jet District 14. Jet District 14. I've gotten the people from District 16 and District 17 on their way. A lot of them are making their way. The people of District number 1 and District 2 are navigating as well. That video you see is just District 14. The people of District 7, they are around Brush, they are around Ducal, they are waiting. The guys are waiting from District 7. So the masses will move their way in history. They will show that Mr. Bwaka, you lied that you ride wheelbarrow to go to work, but you have bought 1.3 million out of vehicle right now, bulletproof vehicle. You told the Liberian people that you ride wheelbarrow to go to work. Why, Mr. Bwaka, why are you riding over 1.3 million bulletproof vehicle when the Liberian people are suffering? Why are you doing that? And that is the reason we would join the protest. And any injustices that is muted against the Liberian people would join the protest. The violations of the constitution would join the protest. We all know one apology for joining the protest when you blatantly violate the Supreme Court order. The Supreme Court is the organic institutions, the final arbiter of justice. When the Supreme Court come out with a decision, that decision remains law-abiding. That decision will be carved into stone, into law. It's qualified. It's become a qualification. If you go out of the Ministry of Justice, there's a department at the Ministry of Justice called the Department of Qualification. They are responsible to take charge of all qualified laws. So when the Supreme Court come up with a decision, that decision becomes a law. It's called a doctrine of stare decisis. For Mr. Bwaka to blatantly violate the decision of the Supreme Court would join the protest. These are circumstances, fact and circumstances would join the protest. The objective conditions of the masses would join. Look, take your phone, send the journalists in the community, send the journalists in the market, see how the people are suffering. And they, the United Party people, are saying, why should we join the protest? It will take away. Who are they to question the protest? It was the same United Party guys that were criticizing Mr. Molu. Oh, get a whole lot of interpretations of Mr. Molu. Now the dynamic have changed. They're seeing the masses out. The masses are coming out. And Mr. Bwaka must respond to the cry of the Liberian people. If Mr. Bwaka cannot respond to the cry of the Liberian people, he will consistently receive that number of people every time. And we will not shy away from that. The CDC will always associate themselves with every revolutionary grouping that speak justice, that speak truth, that stand up and say truth to power. We will not sit there and allow Mr. Bwaka to plunge our country into calamity. We will not say that. We will not sit there and allow Mr. Gregory Coleman to kill. In John Massacre, the Duper situation of a young man, he shot blank. And Mr. Gregory Coleman will be held accountable for that. He will be held accountable.
Thank you so much, sir. Our brother Eric, this protest, from the very initial, we saw that the CDC, as one of the biggest political party in Liberia, was never involved with it. It was Molu, a civil society organization doing all of the whatever. Somebody say of recent, just within the space of less than a month, the CDC is now endorsing this particular protest. Do you think the argument of other people that the CDC is losing its relevance, that's why it is jumping behind, Molu to save its face or to save its glory? What do you say to that? How do you respond to people who say these things that the CDC as a political party cannot stand up, like in the case of the COP, where we saw political institutions, they were involved into the protest. In fact, we saw the former, at the time, vice president, who is now the president, he was involved, and so many other political key figures, they were involved, as compared to this that has been organized by, somebody will say an NGO or, an organization, and the CDC is joining. Do you join because you are afraid, you have lacked the political relevance, you have lost value? Is this the reason why you are hiding behind, Stan? How do you respond to that, sir?
Well, let me say sorry for my background. It was very important that I joined this call, regardless of where I am. This is
Sure.
a call to service.
Definitely.
This is what I would say. Who are the victims of the misrule that our country is currently experiencing? Are they not Liberians? Seditions are not Liberians. When the Unity Party endorsed the June 7 protest, when the ANC endorsed the June 7 protest, did anyone question their involvement on the basis that they have lost relevance? Article 17 of the Constitution is clear that gives Liberian the right to petition and instruct their officials of government to do that which is called for. Our country is collapsing, and it is fast collapsing. Someone told me, Eric, the country has collapsed. And evidence by the misery our people live through, the hopelessness, the lawlessness. Honorable Trawade just told you about the wanton disrespect and disregard for the Supreme Court opinion by the president. That should not be happening in a country like Liberia. When investors want to invest in your country, they look at few issues. Example, the rule of law. How do you manage your judiciary before they invest? Because they don't want to come pump in the money. And at the end of the day, when things go wrong, they have no justice system that will look their way. And right now, the judiciary has collapsed. Look at who was nominated as Supreme at the how you call it, Chief Justice. A man who flip flops with the law. Look at what's happening in the executive. Corruption stories is more prevalent in Liberia now than poverty. So seditions are Liberians. These are the victims of worker misrule. These people were dismissed on the basis that they are sedition. And our constitution is clear. You cannot dismiss people on the basis of the political affiliation or religious affiliation. Look at what happened at the MCC, or the MCC, Monrovia City Corporation. Nearly a dozen of Liberians were dismissed simply because they are sedition. So if seditions, who are the direct victims of worker misrule, join this protest to give a voice to it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it is incumbent upon the state to protect these people and not to intimidate them. We saw the police displaying hot water truck. Who does that? Breaking up or wasting hot water on your people, or threatening to waste hot water on your people. What message are you sending to the international community? That you are running a junta style of government and you complain about investment coming to your country? Who's going to invest in a country like Liberia that has no regard for the rule of law? Corruption is at its zenith. And the president is all he does is he suspends people, does not submit them for any investigation or prosecution. How you call it? Emma Glasgow. This woman was suspended, quote unquote, for corruption. She has been crying for prosecution. They don't want to prosecute her. She even took that case to ECOWAS, said, prosecute me. You say I stole. I mean, modern, willfully, intentionally violated all standing laws about purchasing vehicle. Spend $90,000+ United States dollars in a poor country like Liberia. What happened? The man resigned. He was never persecuted. What message are we sending? What kind of governance system is that? Look at the poverty in the country, brother. See how hopeless our people are dying of starvation. I was just talking with a medical doctor. The man said, Eric, the most common sickness now in Liberia is ulcer. And it is as the result of prolonged hunger, chronic hunger. How are we treating our country? Look, take for example the UNICEF latest report. More than 40% of school-age children are out of school. Tomorrow, who is going to be the future leader when we have already messed up their future? The children that should be in school are on the streets. They're in the streets. We would have expected that the Liberia National Student Union, who have formed part of this protest, to even add the pressure on the government to say, look, 40+% of our students that should be in school are not in school. But instead, look at the statement of the issue. It is a disgrace. Guaca has succeeded in crumbling all institutions that should be a voice for the young people. If you talk about unemployment, is it not the young people that are mainly affected? Did you see the Federation of Liberia Youth endorsing this protest? No, they won't do it because those guys took bribe. They have compromised their integrity. They have compromised the purpose of their own existence. This tells you about the degradation that's happening in our country. And
Thank
so
you.
it's a call to service, my brother. And I'm happy that the masses are turning up in the thousands and expressing their frustration.
Thank you. Thank you so very kindly. We go on to Honorable Dobayu. Honorable Dobayu, the young people looking at our own country, looking at our own population, from the recent population census, that was conducted, Liberia, we have a very huge youthful population. Now, seeing that Linsu, for example, the MRU, Mana River Union Youth Parliament, the Federation of Liberian Youth, and etc., etc., seeing these people distancing themselves from this particular protest that one would say, quote unquote, is intended for the young people, is intended for, a better nation where these young people can be able to, thrive and be able to, reach to their full potential, that they have distanced themselves from this particular protest. Do you think it take away the value of this particular protest? The very people who is intended for, so to speak, or the people who are affected, these people, they were taken out of job, they don't even have job, and this government say they will give job and they will train 10,000 youth. But the same very people who should be, standing up, they were the one issuing statement and saying, no, we are not part. The Linsu, the MRU, the SOUP, and etc. What do you make of this? Do you think it takes something from this?
So let me tell you. First, let me make the correction. MRU support this protest. It is only Linsu.
Oh, okay.
The MRU endorse this protest and the Mana Youth Parliament. Now, let me tell you the contradiction. Linsu, the protest, this association for the protest was induced by Kofi Woods. Kofi Woods, he used 200,000 of taxpayer money to induce young people. Few young people, 200,000. Now, I'm telling you this. This is where I want you to listen very keenly. It is Kofi Wu, it is Sim Wulu, and it is Gregory Common are instigating everything about violence in the security sector today. The AFL has disengaged. As I speak to you, the AFL said they are a non-partisan force. They are a force for good. The AFL is right now in the southeast trying to protect our forests against the Buginabe. So it is Kofi Woods that have been ditching out money, $200,000 United dollars, to induce few leaders from most of the youth and student grouping to come and say, oh, we're not protest. But look at the configuration of these organizations. They are headed by unity partisan. They regrettably, Prince Sherry, what you haven't said is this very Linsu, under this government, their budget has been reduced twice, 2 times the amount we were giving them. They are crying internally. But because of selfish political motive, because some of them are executive members of the Unity Party, they try to garment themselves with their partisan shield and forget about the nationalistic side. So Linsu has no central authority over the people. These people on the streets, they are all students. So what Linsu said was just a press release. They're just a press release. But the old man in Bokon there, whose life has been affected by the increment in the gas prices, the old lady is on the street from Douala. The old lady who can no longer afford zinc, she's on the street. The old lady who has, those old people whose houses have been broken down in Planco because they said they wanted to do Ale. Those people are in the streets. Those people who fathers and mothers were illegitimately dismissed from the EPS, the Executive Protection Agency. My own biological brother, right? My own biological brother, he was dismissed because his last name is Dobayu from the EPS by the Ministry of State. These people are in the street. People who they say harmonization was bad. When we come with deharmonized, it has been almost 2 years.
I'm sorry for intruding, but this is Grand Jita. There's the protest happening in Grand Jita, Federal Liberia. We just received this clip. This is in Grand Jita, and I will bring you other clip from other counties, but this is in Grand Jita. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So we let me tell you. I said on my page that the revolution is not always televised. You weak When you are strong, you're strong. When you are weak, that's some tools, the art of war. So when we started this morning, we appear more weak when we know we are very strong. And they thought they were winning. So going back on point, right? Going back on point on the issue about Linsu and people disengaging. Those people are office setters. They sit in the office. They do not command the people. We command the people. We've been around with the people. And so when we speak to the conscience of the people, they listen to us. So what you are seeing in the street is a defiance to what those so-called press releases entail. And let me say this: you do not panic when the people talk about protesting. It's like it's like a student who says he's doing well in school. You do your assignment, you do your quizzes, you did everything. The teacher wants to give you an exam and you are panicking. Why are you panicking when you think everything is going well? Why are you panicking, Mr. Bwaka, if you think your rescue policy has affected the life of the people positively to the extent that they will not come out in the street? The fact that people are out in the street today is a validation that your policy has failed. The fact that people are in the street today, it suggests that they did not listen to you. You just saw a picture. This is Grand Jide. This is Grand Jide County. This is Grand Jide County. All counties will come later on. People are protesting. The masses are coming out. They have realized that Mr. Bwaka has come to lie, that Mr. Bwaka promises were only meant for private jet. Mr. Bwaka promises were only meant for his Gizi tribes, for his tribal elite and his tribal kinsmen to be everywhere in government. You go to central bank, you go to finance, you go to LRA, all of the financial agencies of the country, all of the financial sector, FRA, everywhere that has to do with money is being presided over by a Lofian, by a convenant of the Unity Party. These are fundamental governance contradictions. These are reasons why the people are outside today, my dear brothers. And these people were not giving anything to come outside. Look at a huge downpour of rain today. And as a practical scientist, I can tell you that the rainfall, especially in Bourgeois Island, was so huge, very huge today. The people defy it and they are outside. They are outside. So, Prince Sharif, the government is defeated. The government has been defeated. Now, last day, this crowd, there's no George Weah. This crowd, there is no Jefferson Koji. There is no Fonati Kofa. There is no lawmaker. Just the people. When they protested, you have all of the political elite being there to have people coming. There's no Yege Konba. There's no high profile politician. It tells you that this struggle is about the people. It's not about political elite. It is the people. See the motorbike guys defying everything. They are outside. These motorbike guys, they were stolen from. You said motorbike can only apply the streets based on certain conditions. You said buy your shiny vehicle. You said get insurance. You said get license plate. The guys paid $20 each. Over 4 million was raised by these poor boys. After they pay the money, you said do not come. That's criminality. That's 419 in white collar. And these are reasons why people are outside today. These people are outside to stand up. Enough is enough.
Thank you so much. Honorable Eddie Trawale, most of the time we see people having these very real, pockets of protest here, there, yana. And at the end of the day, 1 day, 2 days, and that is it. Nothing happened. We revert to the same old problem. These same old issues that are raised by protesters continue to persist. Now, do you think, from all indication, from what you are seeing, that this is going to yield any result, or this is just a showmanship from maybe Stand? One would say a showmanship from Stand, that after this, we revert to the same old thing: police violence, police brutality, the disrespect to the rule of law, shielding corrupt officials, and everything is just going to go back to square one. The only thing that is going to change today, you see people on the street, and after that, they go home. Like you read the statement or the Facebook post from the CSA boss, Josiah Joker, who wrote on his Facebook page and said, look, this is just a showmanship. They will just be out there for a few hours, and after that, they go sit down back home, and that is it. What do you make of that? Will this yield any result, or just the same business as usual? We count the street, we talk.
Mr. Sharif,
Yes,
Josiah Joker is an inherent criminal. And Josiah Joker will have to give account. He will have to give account of the over $40 million of the Liberian people money. He's an inherent criminal. I can say this to you for free. that Mr. Josiah Joker will be prosecuted for the Liberian people money. He will pay it for impoverishing our Liberian people. He will pay for dismissing, illegally removing our Liberian people from on legitimate government salary process. He will pay for that. Mr. Joker will pay for that. But let me say this to you. This protest is not just a regular protest. You can observe from the beginning of the protest. You have seen that you do not have no opposition political party involvement into this process. It's an organic revolution launched by Stan. Least to talk about. The next protest that will be coming about, when Mr. Baka cannot head to the quest and the crown of the Liberian people, we will galvanize the support of all opposition political party. Trust me on this. This protest is just the tips on the iceberg. It's just the tips on the iceberg. We will galvanize the support of the mass of the Liberian people. But I just like to make the comment with respect to Flying Lisu soup. The soup of yesterday is not the soup of today. The soup of today is a compromise soup. I am not a member of the soup of yesterday. I'm a member of the soup of the Yogo Gabi Tapia. I'm a member of the soup of Tonian Richardson. I'm a member of the soup of Wiwi Deba. I'm a member of the soup of Prince Mawulu Kamal. These are men with consciousness. These are revolutionary brothers who combated the system when there were injustices. They did not do selective revolutions. The soup did not do selective revolutions. How will you dare take Heron Costa and take Heron Costa to be a member of soup when Heron Costa was not even he's not even a cadre? But you paraded with Heron Costa in this country, you paraded with Yeke Koba, then you discriminating revolutions. So it's a compromise soup. I don't dignify that compromise soup. I do not dignify the fly that I was part of. I do not dignify the Linsu that I was part of. I know the Linsu that I was part of. The Linsu that I was part of was a Linsu that stood up for injustices, corruptions. That was the Linsu that I was part of. So the Linsu that is parading today are not the Linsu that we are talking about. It is a compromised Linsu. It's a Linsu in the pocket of Kofi Wu. It's a Linsu in the pocket of Baka. Randa Doba, just told you and told the Liberian people that the Linsu budget on our government, on Joseph Baka government, have been reduced 50%. Have been reduced 50% than what we gave them. If the Linsu is a serious institution that did not compromise the integrity, they would have stand up to fight against the illness, the fly that we're talking about. The fly budget have been reduced. These institutions are revolutionary institutions that have been compromised. So we don't dignify those institutions. But here's the idea. We are saying that enough is enough. And we join all revolutionary grouping to fight against Mr. Luther Tappe. Mr. Luther Tappe, who looted and stole over 650,000 United States dollars of inauguration money. He must get account. Mr. Luther Tappe must give account. We'll fight Mr. Bracken and his chief of staff for the 500,000 for NASCO. He have to give account of NASCO. It's a blatant corruption. He must give account. Mr. Bracken must also give account of the 100,000 every travel he made in your credit card. He must give account. Mr. Bracken must give account of the private jet that he ran consistently. He must give account. Mr. Bracken's son is a drug trafficker. He's a huge drug trafficker. Drug trafficking is a transnational crime. Drug trafficking is a transnational crime. Anybody who takes drugs from one country to another must be prosecuted as an international criminal. Mr. Bracken's son is an international criminal. And that's why Mr. Bracken has been surviving over the period of time. And so Mr. Bracken and his gang must give account on that note. Mr. Bracken wrote, and Public Works Minister must give account of the $22 million. They must give account of the $22 million. Amos Fuel must give account of the $7 million corruption scandal. $7 million corruption scandal. These are things we are arguing and we are protesting for, and we'll join every revolutionary. Mama Kabilite must give account of the lies of the yellow machines. Paraded on the street, on the principal street of Liberia, lied to the Liberian people that they were bringing yellow machines. Where are these yellow machines? Where is the buses? Where is the buses? Where is the yellow machine? Yellow machines. Why must you lie to the Liberian people? Why must you lie to the Liberian people? A pitiful kind of photo in air brat at the level of the National Port Authority must also give account of the $5 million. It's a dangerous criminal, or BMBK or BM carrying to Freeport. Decorated BM, a conspicuous criminal. They must give account of it. They must give account. A man who are passing around save the state. Patrick Honda, the generator of Patrick Honda can pay over thousands of young people's school fee. The gasoline, the money that Patrick Honda used on just a generator can pay a lot of young people's school fee. So Mr. Parker must give account. And that is why the people are coming out. And let me say this to you. If they think that this is just a show booting or charade, they are missing the mark. The people will come out consistently. This is just the tips of the iceberg. We will come out consistently. After this protest, if there's no redress, if Mr. Barker cannot readjust his governance style, his criminal style of governance, his military style of governance, we will come out and will come out more than ever before. Trust me.
Wow.
We will come out more than ever before. And it will be a stay down, national stay down protest where the entire country will be locked down.
Well, thank you so very kindly. Eric, my brother, one would say this particular gathering, we are not seeing the faces of some of the political guns or the political gurus in Liberia, like we saw in the COP protest, where we saw almost all of the major opposition political leaders, giving their blessings. Unlike this one, we are not seeing these people. Is it a sign that politically, Mr. Boyka has been able to dismantle, one would say, the entire opposition? Or is it that the opposition people are no longer listening to the political leaders because these political leaders have failed, and there's the reason why they don't want to show up, they don't want to get involved with this? How do you respond to that?
This is what I would say. The oppressed people in our country, they are on the streets of Monrovia. The people that were illegally dismissed, they are in the streets. The people that Boyka is witch hunting in the name of he's fighting corruption or waste and abuse, those people are currently in the street. We don't need President Weah or Cummings to take to the street and even protest. The direct victims are the ones you see currently parading the streets of Monrovia. That is a testament of the resolve of our people. These are the victims. These are the downtrodden. These are the people Boyka committed in 2023 to have come and rescue. And here they are. Here they are. Zero rescue. But you asked a question earlier on about if this is just a showmanship and what would be the outcome if nothing is done. Article 1 of our Constitution gave the people the power. It says all power is inherent in the people. And if you read further down, it talks about the people have got the right to alter and seek reform within their government. And there are ways to achieve that. If you go to Article 62, it talks about impeachment proceedings against the president and the vice president for gross misconduct and other crimes. So this is just not a showmanship that stand is on or the ordinary Liberians are on. No, there's a serious issue. If those demands aren't met, the Liberian people will revert to Article 62. We're not going to wait for 2029 before we remove Boyka from power. No. Do you know how many people are dying as the result of drugs not being in hospital? Do you know how many people are dying as the result of pervasive poverty? Do you know how many school-going children are currently out of school? And you want to wait for 2029 before you effect change? It is unacceptable. So the people will have to act. If the government doesn't listen, the people will act. We are not going to use military tactics. No, we will use the Constitution. There are pathways to solve this problem. And ordinary people are committed. And this is where we stand. We stand with the people. So we don't need a quote-unquote big heads to come and tell us, no, the direct victims are the ones explaining their stories. Who else is better to explain the miseries that they live in than the people who are affected?
Thank you. Thank you. We are grateful, fellow Liberians, to have with us the Honorable Chairman of the mighty Coalition for Democratic Change, the Honorable Anthony Janga. We want to say you are welcome, sir.
Chairman, you're on mute. You got to unmute yourself, Chairman. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, Chairman, you got to unmute yourself. Very good.
Yeah, I got yeah.
Okay, welcome, Honorable Chairman. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Honorable Chair, we want to go straight to you. Today we saw a post from you on your social media handle, giving your blessing to this particular process that is being organized by Stand. One would say, why so late? Do you think it is late, Honorable Chair? Do you think that this is the right time for you to, endorse such? When this process started long time ago, how do you respond to those who, will raise this kind of concern, sir?
So again, this protest is not a CDC-led protest. Citizens are participating, and we have always encouraged them. Even before we went public, we have encouraged those who have wanted to protest. We have encouraged them. So today was just a last-ditch effort to continue that process. But we have always encouraged people who want to, because it's their democratic constitutional right to do so. So it was not the issue of being late. No, it was not late because we have always encouraged people to exercise their democratic right to free assembly. Yes.
But Honorable Chair, of recent, we saw that the CDC as a political institution has been battered seriously by this particular government. We saw a bogus raid that was, taken from the West Point Magisterial Court, where police officers were on the grounds of the Unity Party, where they brutalized people, and there were live bullets shared, and several other lethal force were used on your own party headquarters. Unfortunately, one would say we did not see any kind of maybe engagement of such that should actually call the attention of the CDC. But now that with all of these things that have happened, I mean, people have been brutalized at your party headquarters. We have clip here where you yourself, you have been brutalized by this particular system. And then you are, endorsing this by Stand. Is it that the CDC as a political institution has lost its value? This is the reason why you are hiding on a Stand popularity. How do you respond to that, sir?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, the CDC remains a vibrant national political party. As a matter of fact, we are the former ruling party of the Republic of Liberia. So we are a national political party. That imposes a lot of responsibility on us as a political party. It makes us to have to take into a lot of consideration our actions because we are the immediate past government. And having said that, again, the strength of a government does not lie in the brutality. For instance, the assault that was meted against me does not show strength of the government. To the contrary, it shows that the government is weak. It shows that the government has lost, track of its responsibility to govern. And you see all of the violations that are taking place in the country. All of these things do not point to a strength of the government. No, to the contrary, it exposes the weakness of the government. And so the CDC remains vibrant. The CDC remains strong. On August 22nd, the government invaded the CDC headquarters, they brutalized people. They have been doing systematically eroding the trust of Liberian people in the government. So it's the Unity Party government responsibility to answer to their transgressions. What we are doing now as a political party, yeah, we lost the election of a very thin margin. But what we are doing now, we are rebuilding our political party. And so this mass action has been led by Stand today, and the Youth League of the party endorsed it, the Women League of the party endorsed it, and the party itself came up with a statement defending the rights of Liberians, including members of the CDC, to assemble. You can see the assembly is unfolding very peacefully, and we call on the protesters to continue to exhibit the level of civility that we have seen so far. And we continue to reiterate to the government and caution the government to continue to demonstrate the level of tolerance we see so far. Because any attempt to the contrary will be very counterproductive for the peace and stability of the country.
Honorable Chair, the CDC as one of the largest political institutions and that just came from power, you know, the most recent, how you call governing party, you have all of the structure in place to be able to, you know, engage this government, void of what we are seeing today, where thousands of Liberians have come up, you know, in other counties. We just show what is happening in Grenjire. In other counties, you know, people are also having it. You have all of the mechanism to be able to engage this particular government. Through a kind of, you know, a kind of more, one would say, a diplomatic way or through a diplomatic means. Why have you reverted to supporting this particular protest, where today the country is locked down? You have thousands of Liberians, you know, that also probably, you know, should be on the street selling, or they should be doing their businesses, and you have given your blessing to this particular process. One would say, why don't you use all of what you can use? You just from power, you know all of the nukes and crannies, how to engage the government void of this protest. But today your action have taken food from on people's table, have caused people not to do their normal business. So how do you respond to that, sir?
So to the contrary, we as a political, we have been engaging, we have been documenting, the people will say, we have been documenting the excesses of the regime. And we have called on the regime several.
But like I told you earlier, the police officers that were stationed at Oklahoma, Mike Jones, they still at the back.
Is there something somebody have there that they want to tell us quickly before the chairman go ahead?
They are not told the crowd.
Is there something that anybody have they want to tell us? I'm hearing police officer.
Yes, so technically there are few unity. Are you getting me? Am I clear?
Yeah, you are loud and clear, sir.
Technically, we have discovered there are few unity party elements that have been deployed by Kofi Wood to disrupt the guys that is coming from the District 7 angle. And the police was strategic. We engaged one of the professional police, not Gregory Kuma, and they erected him from the crowd. And I think, according to our sources, that he might be placed under detention. We also get intelligence that the guys from the St. Paul Bridge environs have been stopped. The guys from St. Paul Bridge have been stopped from coming. Yeah, wow. There are a huge group of people from St. Paul Bridge that are trying to navigate away. But the police commander at St. Paul Bridge have been very recalcitrant because he have received instruction from Gregory Coleman that they should not allow that number of people, given the fact that they have seen the gargantuans of people who making their way around the Capitol. So that entire avalanche of people have been stopped. So there's a tension around the St. Paul Bridge environment. The guy is saying that he's going to be going live subsequently. The guy is saying that he will be going live subsequently to update us on the tension that will be displayed at that environment. Hello, Prince Sharif.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are getting you, sir.
So the group from the St. Paul Bridge area, that is from District 16 and District 17, is in a very huge number. And the guys, the police have placed a barricade. As I speak to you presently, they are in serious conflagration. They're refusing the guys to come out. And information saying that the guys is demanding that they need to come out by all costs. And so the police are creating tension over there. Look, Prince, Gregory Coleman want to create problem in this country. And we got to be very clear. He wants to create problem in this country. He has said that our process will be given the opportunity to express our rights, to ensure that the excesses of Mr. Baka must be exposed to the public, and demand that Mr. Baka rethink how he governs the state. For Gregory Coleman to stop our people from coming to the Capitol is a provocation. It's a provocation. It is the tactics of Mr. Coleman to begin to say that the protesters were violent. That is what he's trying to do. He have deployed too many tactics, and we have honored those tactics. We have honored those tactics, and we ensure that those tactics will not suffice in this process. So the intelligence is very huge. There's a serious tension around the St. Paul Bridge area, and we're getting those information from there.
There is a serious tension. Thank you so much for that information. We will do everything to bring you what is happening there. We are between things here. But Honorable Chairman, you was in flight before the information landed on our decks. Go ahead, sir.
As I was saying, the assembly today, the mass action today, that is being led by democratic exercise that is permitted under the Liberian Constitution. And so I mean, and we call on everybody to continue to exhibit, call peaceful.
But Honorable Chair, are you hello? I think we are losing. Hello? Yeah. Are you concerned? Are you concerned, especially with the news that is now emerging from other parts, where the police that pledge their support to the process to ensure that they provide the necessary one would say avenue and the necessary maybe protection for those protesters? Are you afraid from the news that we are getting now, where the police are stopping protesters from coming to the city center to be able to present their petition? Are you in any way worried about what we are hearing right now? Are you worried, sir?
Mr. Sherry, quick information from District 1. District number 1 have been prevented. A barricade from District number 1. The guys that created a barricade and preventing people from making their way from District number 1. Serious tension too also escalating in District number 1. And so we got to make that very clear. The public need to know that Mr. Gregory Comer is still in a dangerous path. We must be very clear on that. District number 1 have been rejected. The guys from District 2 have tried to make their way. Some of them are already make their way along with Malu team. But the guys in District number 1, they have been prevented around the Carisbrand, between Kakata, BWI, and the Carisbrand area. They have seen we have our trucks, and the guys are preventing our people. So the serious tension will be escalated in District number 1, in District number 17, and District 16 is a problem. So Mr. Gregory Comer is still in a dangerous path. Mr. Gregory Comer must not take us for joke. He's stepping on the tails of the snake. He should not take us for joke. If he think he wants to tell the danger part, the country is not belongs to Mr. Gregory Comer alone. Mr. Gregory Comer is not the only brutal person in this country. There were men who were brutal than Gregory Comer. If Mr. Gregory Comer wants to take this path, do not want to allow the people to exercise their fundamental democratic rights, and so Mr. Gregory Comer will get up to contend with. We got to have this clear. The international community must get the message clear real. That Mr. Gregory Comer is instigating violence. He have deployed too many criminals and too many dangerous elements of the Unity Party to disrupt this entire process. We got to make this clear. And thank God that the chairman of the party, Chairman Jangako, is on this live. He has to take that into serious consideration. That Mr. Gregory Comer excesses must be documented and he must be reported to our international partners. We are following, our guys are on the field and giving us a report consistently as we're going towards this process. I'm telling you, Prince Sherry, this protest, if all of the people assemble before the Capitol buildings, the number of people that come into the Capitol building is even more than what you're seeing right now. The number of people from District 17, District 16, the people from District number 1 that have been prevented, if these people move into the Capitol, the vibrations of the pillar will shake. The regime will understand that there are men who've been observing the illegality, the criminal activities of Mr. Bouaka, and the gangster paradise that have been run by the state must come to an end. And so we got to take that into consideration. I hope we're taking note as our guys are giving us more updates in the process.
Yeah, and also from our end, we also receive information. There's a huge, the police, they are divided. The police, they are divided. The police, one group is wanting to use force because they know the group, they know the group that is coming from Bourgeois Island. If that group reaches the center point, which is Capitol Building, they know that things will be, the government will be unclothed. They know that government will be brought on their knees. So right now there is a national security meeting ongoing. Gregory Como is insisting from our intelligence sources, he's insisting that they beat the people. But from all indication, the other guys are saying the group has resolved. The group has resolved, and the intelligence that Eddie just gave you is factual. The group that is coming from the way of Kakata, the group that is coming from the way of Kakata, that group has been prevented. But the drama now is the group that is closer, the group from Claverton and West Point. You know, West Point and Claverton, they are connected. That group is supposed to use the way of Basin Street to continue the police over there. But from all indication, the guys are saying they will make their way. The force is so heavy. Let me say this, right? When the wind of change is blowing, the tree that refuses to go in the direction of that wind, that tree will ultimately fall. That's practical science. That is what is happening today. The people are outside, and the police, Gregory is belligerent. Gregory and Kofi Woos and Sam Wulu, these are the instigators from our intelligence gather. These guys are been on getting killed.
Sorry for intruding, but the information that I just received just now from the group from Nukuta, that 2 police officers in plain clothes were arrested by the protester while they were, you know, in the protest with arms on them. This is very serious. This is very serious, and this is something that, you know, we need to get out there to the public. According to the information, 2 police officers in plain clothes, they were, you know, arrested by the civilian there. They were arrested by the protester and turned over to Zone 1 depot. And this is scaring. Remember, just few hours before this entire, you know, protest, Gregory Como made a statement that there were going to be arms, you know, they got information or so that people were going to be, you know, in the protest there with arms. And this is scaring. This that we are hearing, fellow Liberian, it is scaring. Is there any way that you are concerned about this, Honorable Trawale? What is happening here? Are you concerned with the recent statement that was made by Gregory? You know, and then we are getting this report of 2 police officers in plain clothes with arms among the protesters been arrested. What is this?
We are not only concerned. We are scared. We are not only concerned. We are scared because Mr. Gregory Common is a former warlord. He has all of the dangerous tactics to create some panic and anarchy in the state. He has the authority. He has the ability to do so. And so these are some of the plan and tactics. My sources from John Security have updated me substantively about some of the plans of Mr. Gregory Common. That's just one of the macro plans that Mr. Gregory Common have put into play. They will deploy that. Another thing is that one of the strategies is that they're going to put guns among the people and lie on hurricanes of the protesters. They are targeting Mr. Molu. They are targeting Mr. Akaros Gray. They are targeting my youth chairman, Emmanuel Mohamed Johnson. And they are targeting very strategic people that are involved with the protest. And that have been the plan of Mr. Gregory Coleman. The plan is to lie on these people and create some anarchy and say. So we're getting more intelligence from our people. They're giving us more information. They're telling us how the operation is proceeding. We will update our people. Our sources are coming in. We'll update our people as to how they are proceeding with this process. Mr. Gregory Coleman wants to retrogress this country. He wants to take this country back to the days of old. I want to appreciate the military of the country. The military of the country is absolutely professional. They have distanced themselves. They told Mr. Boyka, there is a civil process here. The people must exercise the democratic franchise. You cannot allow the military to be involved. You cannot. But Mr. Gregory Common is a political law enforcement officer. He's a partisan law enforcement officer. All of the tactics have been uncovered. Our people are giving up more sources. Our devices are on. But the tension that is escalating in District 16 around the Simport Bridge, if Mr. Gregory Common and the authority cannot resolve that, that will escalate into the process. The people are running. People in the community now, they are coming out. They're resisting that they have to go by all costs. It have to be addressed. It have to be addressed. Mr. Gregory Common cannot stop the voice of the people. The voices of the people are very clear. It is the voice of God. We do not need the alterations of any political leader for any opposition party for the people's voices to be here. And so it's scary. It's a dangerous attempt. He's trying to plunge this country back in the dark days. But We're not going to take that path. Our people are very peaceful. They're expressing the democratic franchise, and the regime will be chastised. We'll chastise the regime, and we ensure that Mr. Barker's criminal activities will come to an end. And if he cannot cease, we will consistently protest in the country. Protest is a democratic right. There are planned protests that will unleash the entire country will free. This is just the beginning. We just test the water. That the testing of the water you see so. It's just to test the water. And this is it. Mr. Barker must be told.
Honorable Chairman, Honorable Janga, again, fellow Liberians, we are here with the Honorable Chairman of CDC, the Global Chair of CDC, Honorable Janga. We are here with him. Honorable Chair, this is scaring. You have endorsed this. There are members of the Youth League that are out there. There are members, of the Women Leagues that are out there. This information that we are gathering, especially after the police, have given their own, word that they were going to support the process, that they will be part of it, they will ensure that, it is calm, it is cool. Now that we are getting information from on the feed that the police, is preventing people, and it is alleged that two police officers in plain clothes was, among these protesters, and they have been, turned over to the Zone 1 depot. Are you concerned about this? Is it any concern that you have, sir? Or are you in, communication with others to ensure that those that are on the street, especially those citizens that have the right to participate, that they are protected and they are secure? Are you concerned about that, sir?
Yeah, we are very concerned, and that we hope and that the government will live up to its promise, to its commitment, because the government has demonstrated that it does not live up to promises that it makes. And so we are monitoring the situation very closely, and we will keep in touch with the protesters. We continue to urge them to remain calm, and we are actually investigating now to see whether people are being prevented from accessing town, because as part of the arrangement, and the people, there should be free movement of the protesters from wherever they are towards the capital where they're supposed to present their petition.
Honorable Chair, under the government that you served, we saw that there was similar protest that was held, even though those, protests that were held under your regime, the regime that you serve in, they were all politically motivated and, mixed with propaganda, have no substantive issue to show. But the police were very professional. We saw a protest where the police, they were able to take food, water, and the interaction with, protester was very calm, to the extent that Liberia almost, in fact, was being praised by the world over for hindering such a protest that was actually intended to be very brutal from those political opposition at the time and state actors. Do you think that under this particular government, like we are hearing that this is not going to be the first of its kind, you are intending, to engage the government in several other ways through the democratic process? Are you concerned with what you are seeing with police brutality here, where they beat on students, and you yourself being a victim of this? Is there a concern? Do you think that this government has what it takes, the police have what it takes to be able to countenance all of these different protests in the future that will arise, if they cannot even handle the one with the students? Is there any concern? Do you think that can happen?
The government has no choice. The government, because under the law, under the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, citizens do have the right to free assembly. There's no limitation to that right unless a state of emergency is declared. In the absence of a state of emergency, citizens have the right at any point in time under Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution. So the right to free assembly and protest is guaranteed, and we expect that the government will exhibit the high level of maturity in protecting the rights of these people. So we are closely monitoring the situation, because the police has demonstrated that it is very unprofessional, that it is very reckless, as evidenced by the level of brutality that have been meted around the country since the government came to power in 2024.
Thank you so very kindly. Honorable W. from these informations that we are getting, especially with all of what have been spent by this particular government to discourage this particular protest, they have put almost, all into this. We saw propagandists, of this particular government trying to, discourage the people. But we saw also the people turning up, in their numbers.
So, Mr. Sharif, right?
Yes,
just
sir.
In your question, I just sent you a clip, the first one that you see from Front Africa. Now, people may think that this is a CDC platform. I want you to show that clip, and then I can come over my conversation. From Front Africa, I sent you 3 different clips. But the first one is what you should project. You can show the other one. It just came in from Front Africa. Show that it's just 1 minute, and then I'll make my analysis. It just came in from Front Africa. Yeah, just show that.
Okay, let me just show it right here, fellow Liberians. Let me show it to you right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got it right here.
Good.
Okay, so let's
you
show
don't
it right
you don't
here.
for anything. You don't force it. You just remain there. We honest.
Eddie, meet yourself. Yeah. So okay, Prince. This is the other one way up. This one they didn't do on Facebook Africa. There are 3 I sent you. The other one way up. You see, is written with the orange. The one written with orange in the back.
Okay, yeah, the one.
Yep.
Okay, let me just do this here quickly, and then
yeah, the one from Front Africa. There is a particular analysis.
Okay, yeah.
Very good.
You're talking about this one, right?
That's it. Look at that. Let it play. It's just 1 minute.
Are you talking about this one?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you are seeing there, my dear people, this answers the question you were asking, Prince Sharif. This is a referendum against the regime. What you see that you do not see the George Weah. You did not see Yeke Koluba. You did not see Jefferson Koji. Nobody of the political elite class you see. It is just the people. This is a referendum against the regime. It is about time that Mr. Bouaka and his oligarch face reality. It's about time that they accept reality. It's about the time that they avoid a knee-jerk approach and accept reality. This is reality. This is Front Page Africa. This is an independent news outlet that has been around for almost 20 years. This is not AR. This is news being brought in live by Front Page Africa, right on the edge of Capitol Building. The people are upset. If I were the regime, if I were Greco Como, if I were Joe Bouaka, if I were Sam Gay, if I were Kofi Wu, I would prostrate to the people. You can defy the people. I always told people, crab cannot donate blood. You can give what you don't have. You don't have control over people. The people have control over you. If you have a rescue agenda where the people are taking pay on time, if you have a rescue agenda that is affecting the people's life vertically to the extent that nurses are taking pay, the Universal Library has a beautiful infrastructure, that the AFL personnel and police are well paid, that you are not beating motorcycles. Why would people come outside in this form and manner? See the people in multitudinal proportion, human beings everywhere. The people are leading a mice-based revolution against the regime. This is a referendum. Referendum is a group of people coming outside displaying that discontent. In this contest, they are displaying that discontent, choose civil disobedience. This is a referendum. Any Syrian government will be attentive. Any Syrian government will know that enough is enough. The people are outside. This is a referendum, Prince Sharif. This is a referendum. Okay, Eddie, you can come on.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so very kindly. Honorable Tola, is there any information from your end?
Yeah, basically there's a serious tension in the Marshall terrain, in Marshall, young people from my district number 1 in Marshall City. They are trying to make their way. I'm going to send you the photo. There's a huge group of people living from the Marshall Belt trying to make their way to the city. They have been prevented right around before reaching around the Elistado area. They have been prevented by police. Look, Mr. Gregory Kuma orchestrated a clear plot to embarrass the process. he's trying to succeed himself in that process. And so there's a serious tension around the martial terrain. We must send a message very clear. If Mr. Gregory Coleman continuously to provoke our people, if he continues provoking our people, the repercussion will be unspecified. The repercussion will be unspecified. And that is why we continuously talking to them to remain peaceful. Remain peaceful. We're trying to engage the reputable, are trying to get in touch with Malou to ensure that they can talk to whoever police that in charge over there to let the people come. Let the people come. Do not be afraid. Why are you afraid for? Why are you afraid if you think that the masses will not come out? CDC is not involved now. UP is not there. You can see the Jaeger Cover. You can see the Jeff Kochi. It is the organic, ordinary masses of themselves who felt that the regime is not proceeding properly, and that is they are the one that are out there. Allow the people to come out. Stop preventing the people. Let me call you back. Let me talk to one of them. They're calling me right
Okay.
now. Let me talk to them. I will call you back. Let me be on the line.
Okay, all right. So, fellow Liberian David, you are seeing it, and this is terrible. And the reason why we are voicing this out is because we heard from Gregory Coleman from the very onset how he did not even hide his words, or one would say means his word. Gregory Coleman told us that he was going to plan armed people among the protesters, because as far as we are concerned, this entire planning process, it has not been violent at all. People have not even used words that will be inflammatory from the very onset. So for us to now reach to a place where almost everything is concluded in just few days to the protest, and we hear Gregory talking about how in fact arms will be here, arms will be there, in fact people are planning to bring arms, it is fearful. It is dangerous, because we know that this police lack the tenacity, or lack that particular, one would say, ability to even countenance criticism. They cannot. They can't. This is a Gregory Coleman who have decided to be a political machinery. This is a Gregory Coleman who have decided to be one of the gangsters of Joseph Newman Boyka, to perpetrate ills against people who have, different opinion. We saw it around here. But what is even fearful is how the police, this morning, what we saw, these guys were brandishing weapons. I mean, new weapons. Look in their hands. These are weapons that we have not seen. They went in their storeroom to take weapon from there, and they passing around with. What is this? This is scary. This is scary. But we are here with the honorable chair of the CDC USA, Chairman Janga is here with us, and Chairman Janga, with all of this that is happening, I know of recent you did a tour where you visited, other counties in the process of, one would say, trying to, reawaken uh, the base, or to, just pay a courtesy call and try to know what is happening there. Tell us, what was the importance of your visit, especially in the county? Because I know you went to, Grand Jide, and you went to other counties. Why was it important, your visitation?
Yeah, can you come again? Can you come again?
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that of recent, we saw that you made some trip in the Leeward counties. You did some visitation in the counties to stimulate the base. We just want to know why you took that trip. Why you choose to visit the county.
Okay, so well, the most recent trip was associated with the funeral activities of Molo Nancy B. Doe, the widow of our former slain Liberian President Samuel Kanyan Doe. So my most recent trip was associated with that. I visited the Southeast. I went to Grand Jide County as a mark of respect for President Doe and Moronese Doe, as well as the people of Grand Jide County. And we were there, we fully represented His Excellency, President George Manawia, and we were well received by the people of Grand Jide in Zwedru, and we witnessed the occasion. and we are very glad that we were there, and we continue to build the relationships with the people of Grand Chile County. And so after the funeral activities, we proceeded to visit Maryland County. We went to Harper, we passed through River G County. From River G, we went to Maryland County. And in Maryland County, we convened a meeting with the executives of the 5 southeastern counties, that's Grand Chile, River G, Maryland, Grand Cru, and Sino County. We got from them various perspectives on their own perspective as to why we lost the election in 2023. They gave a lot of insightful recommendations on next steps and the way forward. And we are planning a follow-up mission to the Southeast to ensure that we keep engaged with our people. As you are aware, the Southeast is a natural base of His Excellency President Weah, and by extension, Congress for Democratic Change, the Coalition for Democratic Change. And prior to our visit to the Southeast, we have visited 5 counties. We went to Margibi, we went to Bon County, we went to Bomi, we went to Grand Bassa, and we went to Grand Kitmont County. So if we add all of those, so we have nearly covered about 9 counties since our ascendancy to the chairmanship, and we are hoping to continue to build the momentum. Building momentum after an electoral defeat is very challenging, and that's why we are calling on all stakeholders to remain engaged with the CDC, to remain engaged with our activities and processes.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Dobayu, this government, from all indication, has proven to be a government that does not listen to the plight of the ordinary people. Of recent, we saw Zoomlion, a company that had some questionable dealings, and in fact, at a certain point in time, they were in fact taken from the list of the United Nations, to render services to Liberia because of some, clandestine deal. In fact, the government itself, under the stewardship of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, had to stop doing business with the Zoomlion. Today, we are seeing that Zoomlion is coming back in Liberia. And this is Mr. Boyka, who said, think Liberia, love Liberia, care, and whatever you call rhetorics that he put out there. Are you concerned? Are you worried? What is happening? That Zoomlion is again coming. Is it that there are not Liberians who can, take on this particular task of managing waste?
Don't waste my time. Mr. Boyka has no interest in Liberia. One of his sons got bought interest in Zoomlion. That's the real reason why Boyka has brought back Zoomlion. Even though World Bank and other international partners have read land Zoomlion, corrupt group owned by Ghanaians. I'm from the environmental sector, engaged in the waste, from the sustainability sector. I tell you, NC Senator from K and from Pinsville and another group right on Perry Street. They are sophisticated to do whatever Zoomlion is doing. But Mr. Boyka has no interest in this group. But see what is happening to the transport ministry. Mr. Boyka has brought in a company that his family has 65% share to issue lesson plate. It's security issue. Look, the guys only go after money. If you will outsource a national asset, identification of your citizen is a national asset, national documentation, like lesson plate and driver lesson. Outsource it to a foreign company, it just tells you all Mr. Boyka does is make money. Mr. Boyka has no interest in Liberia. That's why he went to a country like Kosovo to sign MOU. Useless MOU. He has signed over 900 MOUs that are very useless, that have no corresponding dividend and effect on the Liberian people. So if you ask me, whether I'm worried, look, talk about the bosses, the Awolo bosses. Where are the bosses? Mr. Boyka has no interest in Liberia. If Mr. Boyka had interest in Liberia, people will not be killed in Kinjor when they were only justly advocating for what the children work for. They were only advocating for their own resources. all natural resources. These are things they were just talking about, and they were killed. And Mr. Walker said nothing about that. Mr. Walker has no interest in Liberia. That's why he has lied consistently. That's why he travels all around with 100,000 United States dollars on his card. He's shopping everywhere. He has no interest in Liberia. If Mr. Walker has interest in Liberia, to this point, he will bring in foreign direct investment. No foreign direct investment under this regime. All Mr. Walker does is to leech on this government, is to leech on the people. For more than 47 useless years, Mr. Walker has done nothing. Agricultural materials were brought into the country during their period, the first term, from Libya. He presided over that. Today, there is no accountability. You want to ask me whether Mr. Walker loves Liberia? Mr. Walker doesn't love Liberia. He loves himself. He lies about everything. It's all about power. It's all about greed. It's all about deceit. Now you see his wife. She's going to makeup places and she's redoing her body. She tried to increase her body size. Want to increase, all her other stuff on the body that I don't want to call. She's now trying to cream. I mean, that's what the family is engaged to. They just leech on the Liberian people. They have no interest in Liberia. So Mr. Walker, Zoom Lion, his son has interest in Zoom Lion. But see around Mr. Walker, see his neighborhood, his immediate neighbors. They have no electricity when he has electricity 24 hours. They've even barricaded the place. Car cannot pass around. Mr. Walker is selfish. He's self-centered. He's egoistic. He has not the Liberian people at heart. Mr. Walker has been exposed. Today, what you see is a validation of the discontent of the people. The people are leading a mass-based referendum against misrule. The people are leading a mass-based revolution against nepotism. The people are leading a mass-based revolution against illegal dismissal of civil servants. The people are leading a mass-based movement against tribalism, against political witch hunting. The people are leading a mass-based revolution against police harassment, against corruption, against the eating of 500,000 by grace pay for the Ministry of Public Works. This is the reason why the people are outside today. This is the revolution of the people against the few elite that have been elitting on our country.
Wow. A protest against a system, against bad governance, and etc. Honorable Trawale, I remember when you were at the prison, you instituted several programs, several reforms, where we saw prisoners were even engaged in, some other work, skills training, where we saw some of them even involved in, carpentry. One time you even took them out to, do some community services where they went to New Cruton and we saw them cleaning, trying to get involved in, let's say, community, services. But under this government, from information that we've gathered, the prison are very deplorable. In fact, now our prison, especially the South Beach, that was, one of standard that some system was put in place. According to what we have gathered, that place now is where you have drugs law. That place now they are selling real drugs in that particular prison, to the extent that now people, it is from prison now that people are calling to scam people. Uh, how you left that place? That now it has just gone down the drain. It is deteriorating so fast that the prison is now becoming almost like a criminal cell where people can be in there and at the same time committing crime. How you left that place?
So technically, with respect to our responsibility at the level of the prison, we did absolutely tremendous well when it comes to our fundamental responsibility and corrections. In the dispense of our duty, what we did is that we implemented an extensive prison reform, which include the establishment of the magisterial sitting. You see, at the Monrovia Central Prison and all other prison, there's a major problem that we've been confronted with, and even right now, the people who in authority is still being confronted with is something we call prison overcrowdedness. Prison overcrowdedness have been historical challenge for all of our prison in Liberia. And so in order to decongest those prison systems, what I did and what I recommended was few things. The first thing I recommended that there should be a reconstructions of new prison facility, particularly the Morovia Central Prison. Morovia Central Prison initially was built for 375 occupants, 375 inmates. So in order to reduce the issues of the prison overcrowdedness and work in line with the contemporary populations within Macerado and its environs, is to relocate the prison because that prison has lived its usefulness. So you need to relocate the prison. And we work on that. We're able to work along with the government and international partner. Today, as I speak to you, we got to learn right now in Chismont Bread that a prison should be constructed. We did a negotiation with a company from South Africa. We did all of the prospering. We did all of the entire documentation of how we're going to do the prison. We did the plan, and we did all of the analysis on the prison constructions. That's what we did. Another thing that could reduce the issue of prison overcrowdedness that we did in our leadership was the issue of the magisterial setting. We talked with the Supreme Court, the judges, the Chief Justice coming, Justice Kogbe. We had a meeting, and he said that we need to have a fundamental prison reform. So what we did is that we brought the judges, the magistrate to the prison, and the magistrate began to review the file of those individuals with lesser offensive. And the and those individuals with lesser offenses were removed from prison, and other cases that were not prosecuted due to not sufficiencies of evidence. It was done through our instrumentality. So we did what we call a magistrate sitting to reduce the issues of the prison overcrowdedness. We fundamentally have a 5-year strategic plan, and we categorize that 5-year strategic plan into 2 quadrants, a long-term and a short-term quadrant. With respect to the long-term quadrant in our responsibility, what we did is that we instituted what we call the parole and the probation program. That parole and probation program is basically focused towards the issues of pre-sentence investigation report. You know, there was an order that came from the Chief Justice. A lot of time people will go to prison. You don't know the background. You don't know the reason why they committed crime, because we as criminal justice practitioners, we believe that crime is committed based on reason. People commit crime based on reason. And those reasons must be addressed before you can move forward. What was those reasons? We said crime is committed based on adult frustration, which is psychogenical factor, biogenical factor by birth, or sociogenical factor by society or the place he was born or the people he associated with. So in order to address the issues of criminality in the country, you must take into consideration the 3 major factors in addressing that: biogenical, psychogenical, and sociogenical factor. So at a certain point in time, a lot of people was going to prison. We were not conducting a proper investigation to understand what is the actual cause of these people going to prison. What is the root cause of crime and criminal behavior? We were not doing that. So against that backdrop, we begin to effectively enforce the parole and probation program. The parole and probation program was basically to do what we call the social inquiry, to investigate in the community to know who's the person, to do the mandate of the Chief Justice. The pre-sentence investigation report. When that report is conducted, that report will be submitted to the team, and the team will forward it to the judge. The judge review the report and say, "Oh, Mr. Prince Sherry, I've never been in criminality. I've never done anything bad. So, Mr. Prince Sherry, instead of you going to prison for the length of time, we'll put you on community corrections." That is where you saw I was taking people on the street in their prison uniform, doing community correction program, cleaning the street. Going there, I take people in Grand Bassa County. We did a same thing in Grand Bassa County. We did a community correction program, and a lot of people came out. It have a tremendous impact on people in terms of prison reform and so on. So we did a lot of things. We instituted a rehabilitation program where we brought in the cooking program. People are doing the tailoring, the carpentry. So there were a lot of fundamental reform that we did in that place. We did agriculture. Agriculture was one of our primary rehabilitation programs in terms of our prison were producing cassava, our prison were producing crop. We have a livestock situation at the prison where we were growing pig. We have our pig tree. Everything was going on fine. For now, I do not want to criticize what they're doing there, because the guy who is there presently He's a responsible and professional guy. I hope that the Unity Party, a partisan posture, should not override or overtake his entire professionalism. Gabriel Nubla is a friend and brother. He's smart, he's brilliant, he has the capacity to run that prison better. But I will urge him to not be influenced by political influence. He have to be very smart. There'll be a lot of people who will come to him for in the system. Oh, my brother, this is what this is this. Bringing people, they will be bringing names of people. I will urge him to be very strategic how he deal with that and take off partisan jacket to begin to effectively execute the rules of the president. Because we did a lot of things. And one of the major and tremendous reform that we did was the issues of the bill, the most preponderant bill called the Prison Act. That Prison Act was about the prison to obtain its autonomous status. We draft that law, we work with lawmakers, we ensure that President George Manuel Weah was able to project that into legislation. Today, we are proud, we can safely say that law has been passed by the upper house. It will soon be domesticated and the prison will begin its autonomous status. So we did a lot of reform in terms of how the prison system can work. I'm getting intelligent that there are challenges in terms of feeding, in terms of logistics, in terms of the necessary needs of the facility and all of things. Those challenges were there. We surmounted the challenges, but I heard that because the Unity Party government does not prioritize justice, so they do not believe in giving the necessary support to the prison facility. If Mr. Bwaga has sense enough, if Mr. Bwaga is smart enough, he will support the prison facility to reduce the issues of criminality in the country, because prison is not just to keep people in there. It's the fundamental reasons of prison is for rehabilitation and reintegration. So when Mr. Bwaga is smart enough, he will support the prison system. Get the guy money. Let the guy work to ensure that he can do a fundamental transformation at the facility. But I learned that Mr. Bwaga has blatantly blind his eyes to the unfolding reality. The guys are struggling. And so the prison is in tatters. Mr. Gabriel Nubla is struggling. He's trying to use his strategy, his mentality, and his smartness to deal with situations. Well, we wish him well. But this government is irresponsible. This government does not believe in the fundamental responsibility as a government. Mr. Gregory Como is one of the lead instigators of problems of our country. And Mr. Gregory Como cannot be rooted out. The state will be in anarchy. And I can assure the Unity Party government, we will not cease protests. If Mr. Bwaga cannot address, I'm following the process. Mr. Bwaga is refusing to come for the petition. The police is creating tension right now. Moba Malu and his team at Akara Gray are requesting that Mr. Bwaga, why are you afraid of coming to receive your petition? You are campaigning all over the place. You are running around going to people. You went on protest ground. Why are you afraid now? You afraid of protest? Why is Mr. Bwaga afraid of protest? Why Mr. Bwaga afraid of protest? Was it not the same Mr. Bwaga who went to protest? Mr. Bwaga was it not the same Mr. Bwaga who were around here protesting? Like a call-head chicken? Why is he now afraid of going to receive the people petition? So the police is creating tension. Mr. Bwaga is refusing to come to receive the people petition. And when Mr. Bwaga cannot receive the people petition, I can say this for free, that the next protest that will happen in the country will be a nationwide. The police does not have the capacity. The police does not have the capacity to address the issues of nationwide protests. If I were Mr. Bwaga, I would go to the people and address the concern. Mr. Bwaga, the extrajudicial killing that is going on in the country, you have to stop killing people. Mr. Bwaga, stop paying people to execute people. The political witch hunt. Why are you witch hunting your political counterpart? Why? Why do you want to witch hunt opposition party leaders? You have to stop. The issues of the extrajudicial killing, you have to stop. The rampant corruption, the $40 million by your CSA boss, you have to stop. The over $650,000 United States dollars by your master, by your chief of staff, you have to stop, Mr. Bwaga. You must give account. Why is Mr. Bwaga refusing to go for to receive the petition? Why Mr. Bwaga? Is it Mr. Bwaga found himself in the luxuries of corruption? Is it Mr. Bwaga found pleasure in swimming in the pool of corruption? Is it Mr. Bwaga found pleasure in executing the ordinary masses of our people? Is it Mr. Bwaga found pleasure in impovering our laboring people? Is it Mr. Bwaga found pleasure in not paying our civil servants, including the police? Law enforcement are underpaid in that country. The law enforcement are underpaid. One Mr. Burger traveling with 100,000 on every trip, domestic as international and domestic. Every trip that Mr. Burger does in our country, he travels nothing less than 100,000 on his credit card. Mr. Burger have found laws within riding private jet consistently. To go loafer, just loafer folks. Mr. Burger was in private jet. How
So,
can the
folks, depends
president?
wherever you're watching.
How can the president go to his own hometown? He ride private jet. When George Weah was doing domestic travel in this country, he used the road. He stopped from time to time and impact the life of the people. Why Mr. Burger afraid to talk to his own people? Why? Why is Mr. Burger afraid to engage his people on the side? Is it Mr. Burger afraid for the people to tell him about the suffering and the poverty that he have unleashed on the people? Why is he afraid? Why Mr. Burger is misusing public resources? Why? Why Mr. Burger is using his son as a lead drug trafficking in the country? Why Mr. Burger doing that? So right now, as I speak to you, the tension is mounting. The police is trying to create a serious issues. Mr. Burger have refused to come receive the petition. And Mr. Burger don't think that if you don't receive that petition, you are spared. Don't believe in that. Don't believe in that. And so this is what is unfolding, bro.
Thank you so much. Honorable Dobayu, while we talk about the protest on the SAR, I just want us to just highlight some issues in your area. We saw the work that you did, at the EPA, the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. You guys did exceptionally well, despite of the challenges, especially during the rainy season time. Let's come to the common one, the one that Liberian men, will understand. While it is true that there were floodings, but to some extent, under your leadership or under the leadership of the government that you serve, we saw that the issue of flooding was to some extent, controlled. While it is true that there were flooding in other areas, but it was controlled. But of recent, we've seen a very, very, very horrible scene that every part of Monrovia is now being, overtaken by flood all over the place. In fact, places that even water never used to set for even 35 minutes now is taking over the people's houses. I get clip here maybe I may be able to show. What is going on? What magic did you play? Or what did you put in place that you think is now happening now that Liberians, that is very terrible, that is very horrible right now? What is going on, sir?
So let me be honest with Disco. The EPA is one of the most technically inclined entity in Liberia, scientifically inclined, and is blessed with a lot of scientists. I will not be dishonest with the Disco to say because we left from there, nothing is happening. I will tell you what we did. And it is my anticipation that the team there can continue what we started. So when you talk about flood and disaster related, we are not a lead agency for that, but we provide the overarching environment. So the National Disaster Management Agency, they are the executing agency. We are the scientific entity responsible to do research and come out with safeguards. So first of all, we're able to do we have a project on the early warning project with Ministry of Transport. We initiated an early warning project where we're able to erect 11 weather stations in 14 counties. Those 11 weather stations, that's King George, right?
Yeah.
That's King George. That's just a reminder of what the police has done, right?
Sure.
So we're able to erect 11 weather stations in 10 counties, and those weather stations were predicting and giving real-time weather information. They were forecasting at least 10 days ahead of time. So every city in Liberia on our early warning project were able to erect those weather stations, do early warning hydrological and hydrometeorological information. They were in real time. If you go on your phone right now and you download the water bug, because of that program that we initiated in conjunction with Ministry of Transport, you can get real-time information. The schools, we have workshops with these schools in terms of how to use the app to predict. Because when you predict and you know the weather forecast for 10 days, then you can prepare yourself. If you are in school, you know how to go to school. If you are a marketeer, you know when to go for your goods. So we were able to do intense awareness on the weather app. We invest a lot of money. Afterward, we also went to Ganta. We took several journalists and we trained them how to do weather reportage and meteorological reporting, because not every media entity, not every journalist is trained in being a reporter of the environment. So we trained some female. There was a memorandum we had with the female journalists of Liberia, and we trained them. We had that memorandum. We did that consistently so that people will have interest in reporting environmental issues. In fact, even OK FM, other FM, there was a memorandum with we and them AirBC, we translated this weather and environmental information, know your environment information in our vernaculars, the 15 vernaculars, and they were listened to. In various high schools, we have environmental clubs, the same way you have press clubs in these schools. We train these young kids on the importance of environment, the importance of hygiene. Not just that, we're able to create a flood disaster a map of Liberia, and we presented that. It was a support from the UNDP, and the National Disaster Management Agency presided over that. And we also, what we used to do when rainy season coming, we leave at least 2 or 3 months ahead. We can do a mapping, a holistic mapping of all the hotspots, those hotspots that were susceptible to flood, because the wetland are not wasteland. Wetland are not meant, for certain structure. For you to go in a wetland, there must be geotechnical and hydrological survey to tell you which type of lateral and the intensity of that lateral to support the structure you put in there, whatever vertical structure or horizontal structure you're building. So we used to do all of these hotspot mapping, and then we go to the legislature, we tell them, we encourage lawmakers in their district to tell people that this place is not for building. If you want to build here, you go to the EPA and Public Works and obtain permit. The cost of building in wetland is so expensive, because wetland, for you to be able to get a foundation that will hold your structure, you need to spend more money. So we used to discourage people not to build in wetland, because wetland are not wasteland, and because wetland are nature. When you defy nature, nature will defy you. Nature doesn't forgive. So to just answer your question, when we were at the EPA, we invested more time in writing for grants. We invested more time in doing awareness, in building synergy with community, and making them to understand that when rain is coming, there's going to be flood. And we, at some point in time, we broke down structures that were against the building code, that were structures that were built in either way. They were broken down, were demolished. We check out the polluter pay principles on environmental management laws of our country. We check out that polluter pay principle. We check out the principle of sustainable development and soundness of the environment. We use all of these principles and tools given us to make sure that we did what we could. Those very technicians are at the EPA today. I don't want to demonize them. EPA is one of the best entities, I can tell you, because not because of the heads, it's because of the technicians and the process of recruiting people at the EPA that we enhance in such a way that anybody serving in the technical line of the EPA, you have some sort of sophistication. So from our end, that's what we've done, and that is what we continue doing. Today, the drama is there are some people who are with the EPA, some people, other places who people feel we carry them there. They were dismissed. Those people today, now they are in the crowd. So that is where I want to focus. When you dismiss people, not because of their ineptitude, but because they were brought into the agency by certain group of people, then you find the wrath of the people. Other agencies like EPS and disaster management agency that we recommended people to work, these people have been dismissed. So where do the people go? The people have to go protest. That's why you see the people are today in their mass protesting. See the numbers behind you. This morning when it started, they were making mockery. Now they are overwhelmed. Mr. Bogart now is embarrassed. See the Capitol building, if this continues for the next 1 hour, the Capitol building will be overshadowed by human beings. You can stand the wrath of the people. You can do it. They can do it. Is they're fighting the force of gravity, or is they're fighting the force of wind, or the force of the water. These are natural forces. You don't fight them, you give them away. Mr. Bwaka, it's not too late. I'm encouraging you to come outside and receive that petition, Mr. Bwaka. Come outside and receive that petition. The people are the people that elected you. These people you see here, most of them elected you. They are disappointed today. Come outside and receive that petition, Mr. Bwaka.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dugwayu. I want to go to the Honorable Chairman, Honorable Janga. Honorable Janga, I must commend you for the recent, one would say, tour. Not only that you tour Liberia, I mean the counties, But through the help of technology, or one would say visually, you are also touring. I mean, the continents. A few days ago, you were in the U.S. here. You were in Europe. Our people there in Holland, in Canada, and etc. You was with them on the line. I mean, trying to engage the various diaspora community, which I want to commend you. But if I may ask the question, sir, is this something that you intending to do? I mean, to cover the entire diaspora, or maybe you just did it with the states, I mean, with just America and that of Canada and Australia, and at the end of the day, it's over. What are your plans? What are your vision? Because I know there are other Liberians in the diaspora that are listening to you. And I must say this with no disrespect, other leaders have been seriously challenged. It has not been easy, especially to, be on the line and have this kind of meeting, and that you have started, this particular initiative. I want to say thank you. And most people in the diaspora really appreciate this effort. But are you intending to do this what I mean, on a regular basis, and what you hope to achieve from this kind of engagement from your people in the diaspora, especially Seditians?
So basically, the engagement with the CDC diaspora is critical to the rebranding process of the CDC. It's critical to reorganizing the party. It is critical to rejuvenating the party. It is critical to resetting the party. And it is our hope and anticipation that we will continue to do this diaspora engagement on a routine, regular basis. And so that's why we have started the engagement. The engagement is going to continue. We'll be working along with all the major stakeholders in CDC USA, as well as in the CDC diaspora as a whole, to make sure that we create a regularity of meetings with our diaspora to understand their perspective. Because people in the diaspora got a lot of new perspectives. They have different paradigms. So we need to see exactly where they're coming from, and then we incorporate their dynamic and vibrant ideas into rebuilding this party as a vibrant national, social, democratic, center-left political movement that will continue the execution of its pro agenda. The CDC, the difference between the CDC government and the United Party government, the United Party government seems to be a rebirth of the Liberian oligarchy. And you see, they are more concerned about personal benefits and other things. Whereas the CDC government was totally bent on the empowerment of the Liberian people through healthcare, through free education, through infrastructure development. And you saw the domestic economy vibrant and robust under the CDC government. And that is the difference between the CDC government and the United Party government. The United Party government came to power and it has started to target the ordinary citizens. See the victimization of motorcyclists. There are thousands of motorcycles that were procured by vulnerable poor Liberians who were trying to make ends meet. This government has totally destroyed the domestic motorcycle economy. The value addition of motorcyclists moving 24 hours around the country was creating the creating economic viability, but that has been totally removed. In many instances, the motorcycles of motorcyclists have been seized and have been converted to the personal use of police officers, which is totally unacceptable, condemnable, and reprehensible. So I can tell you, the CDC diaspora engagement will continue, and we'll be working with stakeholders like you to ensure that we incorporate the views of the CDC diaspora, both in America, in Europe, Australia, and in Canada, and other parts of the globe.
Honorable Chair, whenever you speak, you talk about this issue of the Unity Party winning on, a margin of error, where you simplify it on several occasions. You spoke about that. Uh, what are you not to give or all of your strategy? Because I know is there are some political strategy which you will not disclose for some reason. But what are you doing differently, sir? That even that particular margin of error that now we are seeing with all of the complaints, and the government is heading in a negative direction with lies and propaganda that they cannot be able to, one would say, implement what they lied about. Like they talk about the issue of fighting drugs. We are now seeing that the proliferation of drugs is on the increase. They talk about the issue of harmonization. Up to now, they can't do anything about it, even though few of their officials are getting more while the ordinary people are being laid off. And we are now seeing the freedom of press under, the regime which you serve, under His Excellency. We saw that there were people who were even in government that threatening the sitting president. Like now the senator Darius DeLong, who said, they won't know where gun will come from, and nothing happened to these people. But of recently, we saw what happened to the motorcyclist president, Yellow Machine, as he is commonly called, while he was at Truth FM. A troop of police was sent there to have him arrested when the police director called, according to him, quote unquote, navigational error. I know navigational error and all these kind of, funny thing. Honorable Chair, what are you doing to leverage, on all of these mishaps or missteps of the Unity Party to be able to engage those that fall in that margin of error, to see how best you can engage them? So what are some of the things you are doing?
So basically, if you do a SWOT analysis and a post-mortem as to why CDC lost the 2023 elections, it was also on the basis of complacency. The election managers of the CDC were complacent. They were overconfident. You should never be overconfident in our elections, and that was one of the reasons why we lost the election. If you very look, it's possible that we didn't even lose the election, because once the difference between the two political parties is within a margin of error, it is possible that the victory of the United Party was an error. That's why we say, oh, the margin is within the margin of error. So it's possible they didn't win the elections. But given the fact that His Excellency President Weah was the sitting president, and we were the ruling party at the time, in the interest of bringing down the political tension, given the checkered history of the country, given that the Liberia has been through a fratricidal civil crisis, in the wisdom of His Excellency President Weah, it was now worth trying to take the country down the path of instability, because due to the closeness of the two parties, he felt in his wisdom, you concede, because although that is unprecedented throughout Africa, but in his best wisdom, being a global peace icon, and with all the threats that was being carried out by people that butt naked and others, and these people killing people in Lufa County, the death of our own brother Joshua, people were being killed by supporters of the Unity Party all over the country in the name of electioneering. So in the wisdom of the president, he felt the early concession was okay to stabilize the country, and which it did. And the sad thing is that the Unity Party is pretending as if it has an overwhelming mandate. No, you do not have an overwhelming mandate. Your mandate is within the margin of error. It's even possible you did not win the elections. So you should govern without sobriety. You should govern with prudence. You should govern with reconciliation in your mind. But contrary to that, you see all of the excesses. You see the brutality of the police. You saw when the government took over, the police went to Kinjal, victimize people and kill people. You see the systematic abuse of power by the Unity Party. And so definitely we are not going to reveal how we will defeat the Unity Party that we did in 2017, because the men who delivered our victory, some of those men are back at the barricades, and we will ensure that the Unity Party will be defeated. There's nothing that can stop the Unity Party from being defeated in 2023. 29 because the Unity Party has already failed in its first 2 years of stewardship, as evidenced by the amount of errors that is made, the amount of corruption allegations, the amount of miscalculation, misrule. The Unity Party's promises last year that they were bringing in yellow machines, and all of those things point out to be bogus promises to the Liberian people. So the Unity Party will be defeated hands down in 2029, and the Unity Party will hand back power democratically, like the CZ handed back power democratically in 2024. So we can guarantee seditions that we call on you not to be perturbed by the misrule of the Unity Party. We are planning systematically and strategically to ensure that power will be democratically resolved for the Unity Party, and we have no choice but to surrender power democratically, that we surrender power democratically after the 2023 election. So we call on citizens to have zero fear for the Unity Party, because when the time reaches, we will make sure victory will be delivered. Every single vote of the CDC will be protected. The mistakes of 2023 will never be repeated. So it's a hard lesson. The CDC learned a very hard lesson. And even operators of the Unity Party are aware as to how they won the elections. They are aware. They're smiling and laughing in their corners. But we are a democracy, and we cherish the democratic gains that the country has made so far. And we build on those gains, and we put out the Unity Party from power democratically come 2029. We can guarantee citizens that what we call on you is to remain focused. Do not be distracted. Do not be distracted by the chicaneries and the machinations of the government. They are trying to say, they're trying to weaken the CDC. No, the CDC is not being weakened. To the contrary, the CDC is rebuilding, the CDC is rejuvenating, and we can assure citizens and the Liberian people, we're going to come back. We're going to own up to our own mistakes as a party in government, but that's the beginning of squaring up with the Liberian people. We'll make sure those mistakes that were made while we're in government, those mistakes will not be repeated, and we can assure the Liberian people that the proper agenda will be implemented. Proper agenda redux will be implemented, and by the time the CDC lead the country for the next 6 years after, Liberia will never be the same. That issue of harmonization, the Unity Party stayed in power 12 years. They did not correct harmonization. They did not do payroll harmonization. They did not have a payroll. For 12 years, they governed the country. There was no national payroll. It took the painstaking effort of technicians and policy makers from the CDC to correct and create a national payroll. So if I see the Civil Service Director General making flimsy comments all around, he does not even understand government payroll. The payroll was painstakingly created by the CDC government. One employee of the Liberian government, one pay. That has never happened. That did not happen from 2006 up to 2017. But the CDC painstakingly created one pay, one employee across the Liberian government.
Honorable Chair, I know you are a very busy person today, and I want to really, really thank you for taking up the time to even be on here for the time that you spent here. I know it's not easy. People are calling you back and forth because you have to ensure that, other Liberians who listening to you and are part of the process, that you also, to some extent, watch over them, make sure that everything is okay, coordinate things, and etc. So I really, really want to appreciate you for taking the time off to be here with us. It's something that we hold with high esteem, and we are humble to have, a figure like you to be on this platform. We are very humble and want to say thank you. But before we take leave of you, there are two issues I want you to address. One has to do with the presence of Mr. Boyka here in the USA, our president. He came here we all know what happened. While other nations like Gabon was leaving from here with almost about $500,000, and they were able to, have a very fruitful discussion. Other nations, we left from here, with nothing and with no hope. Up to now, with the Liberian people have not been briefed relative to, what are the prospects for Liberia, especially on this visit. So we want you to speak on that. And the last issue we want you to speak on before you can take your leave, and attend to other things. And again, I want to say thank you for taking up the time. Is the issue of this a fight against corruption. Sir, we are seeing that this government is suspending people who are even in this government. There are people who have been suspended. And we are seeing there are other people who were in the previous government that this government is now going after. Some former government officials, they are now, before the court, before the legal system to be able to, someone will say, to prove themselves, not guilty, or out of the court, or the government prove them guilty. What do you make of this particular corruption fight? You think it is a step in the right direction from this government, or what do you make of it, sir? So you can just, put these two together as we're listening to you, sir.
So on the visit of President Boakai to the U.S., we are still waiting for a report. I hope he can report to Liberian people as to beyond all of the theatrics that took place. We are want to see what the tangibles are. So we are still waiting to see what the tangibles are, and from the trips. So we are waiting. On the issue of the fight against corruption, the CDC, as a former ruling party, welcome all fight against corruption. In fact, the fight against corruption is part of the fundamental mandates of the CDC, manifesto of the CDC. The CDC government, under His Excellency President Weah, revamped the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, giving a prosecutorial power. And so what you see happening with the LCC today is the making of the CDC government. But we caution the government not to be doing picking and choosing, cherry picking. And because suspending people from government, you're trying to show that you are fighting corruption, but you need to go beyond that. You need to actually take punitive action against those who have been accused of engaging in corruption, and chasing after former government officials from the CDC government. That's not the fight against government. If you muster the courage, to take action against your own people by indicting and prosecuting them, then you demonstrate that commitment and you demonstrate that impartiality. That we are not saying. And so we hope the government begin to take practical actions in the fight against corruption by sanctioning its own government officials. And on the issue of national reconciliation, we call on the government to go beyond the grandstanding, to go beyond all of the fanfare and the pretense. For instance, His Excellency President Weah built the PHP Park as a national memorial, for those who were gruesomely executed in 1980, to provide an opportunity for closure. A national movement is there at that site. That was far-sightedness. But see, in this national reconciliation grant, quote unquote, by the current government, you do not see any acknowledgement of the historic PHP Park, a park that somewhere, even when the 13 government officials who were actually being memorialized, no reference was made to that monument that was built in their honor. And so we try to be selective in appreciating steps that were taken towards national healing. That place, the PHP Park, should become a national shrine where people go and sit and reflect on the tragedies of Liberian history. And we hope the handlers in the government will take advantage of the monumental effort that was made by His Excellency President Weah in building the PHP Park as a national memorial, as a national shrine for reconciliation. the fact that they have ignored, and in fact they're trying to desecrate, they're trying to destroy the PHP Pact, it's a testament. It's a testament that the government is not sincere about national reconciliation. Yeah, so thank you for the invitation. I was always be open to be here. We extend greetings to all the people of Liberia who came out today to exercise their democratic right under Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution that points to freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, freedom to protest. We urge you to continue to be civil. We urge you to continue to be peaceful, because with that, you send a clear message to the government and to the international community that indeed you are a people of peace. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much again, Honorable Chair, for taking up the time, and we wish you all of the best. Keep your lines open, and thank you so well for always keeping your lines open, you are one of the chairmen, I must admit, that is very, very flexible when it comes to communication. With all the hard time we can give you, even some of the unnecessary thing that we can say, you can still respond to it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Honorable Chair.
We have no option. Once we have accepted to take up this position, the duty is not for us, it's a responsibility to be responsive. Even in cases where you are not happy, you must create room to make sure you find solution. I want to thank you guys, especially CDC USA, for allowing whatever issue or incident to be resolved. We assure you that we'll continue to work along with you to make sure that you have a vibrant national convention in 1 year as was agreed, and we'll make sure we'll closely monitor the situation, and we'll be working closely with the leadership, and we'll urge every one of you to continue to work with the leadership of our Honorable Yahya Talata Sharif in making sure that the CDC is grounded, that the necessary foundations are laid as we move towards 2029. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. Thank you so much. Thank you, and have yourself a God bless day. Honorable Dogwayu, you are stay here with us, sir. Honorable Dogwayu, you are here. I want to ask you this question, Honorable Dogwayu. With all of this, protests that is going on, from information that we have gathered so far, that this, the government is not showing any interest. I mean, in wanting to receive the petition, and they are, creating unnecessary bottleneck. Is there any fear that this protest may not achieve the desirable result, and at the end of the day, it would just be like another one that we have without no result, and people just walk away frustrated, that we, kind of like give them a negative signal to not show up again? Is there any fear of such, sir? Okay, I think Honorable Dogayu is in the back. He will join us. But fellow Liberians, I must say this. The Unity Party is taken by surprise. Because they think that with all of the money that they spent, that the money could actually help them to cause the people not to show up. Imagine under the rain, look at the amount of people that show up. Under the rain. I'm not saying under the sun. I'm saying under the rain. This is what happens when the people are resolved. When the people decide that, look, enough is enough. This is what happens. This is definitely what happened. Look at how the people are telling. Oh yeah, they were rain. Look there. Look at this. You see here? It's what we're talking about.
Heading from Kuku Island to head the capital of Monrovia as part of the July 17 protest here on Bushu Island. As you can see here, they are in a thousands.
They play VOA.
In a thousands.
To Monrovia.
Making their way at the headquarters and the government seat.
You cannot use propaganda to think that you can be able to, deceive the people. You see the people coming out? Also, you want to say these people were paid? Is that what you're trying to say now? No, is that what the government was saying? Because they quick on saying that, oh yeah, people, you pay people to come outside. So you want to tell me now, then if Stan pay these people to come outside, then Stan is the richest, how you call, civil society organization so far. Eh? No, because that's what they will say. That's what they will say. That, oh, you know, Stan, the people pay money here, this, that, other thing. So if indeed Stan pay, then it means that this is the richest civil society so far. Look at how these people are coming up. But fellow Liberians, time is of essence in what we do. We want to say thanks to each and every one of you. We want to appreciate you. We are sorry that we could not put up the number for you to interact with the chair. And reason being is, the phone here is I'm downloading something on it. I can't be able to use it to call. That's the reason why. But I want to thank all of you. We are hoping and praying that we can have another, a show where we will exclusively invite the chairman to talk about, other issues where we have the time to, interact with him. We are wishing and hoping for that. But on behalf of the platform, I want to say thanks to all of you that take up the time to be with us. We've been here for almost like 4 hours. Yes, almost 4 hours we've been here. We want to thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing, you commenting, and everything. So, my people, until we meet again, I want to say thank you. This is your platform. Follow the page under the Palava Hut. We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on X, we are on TikTok. So as I'm speaking to you now, all of the other handles that we have, they will all be sharing this particular show. They will all be sharing it. So until we meet again, I want to say thank you so very kindly. I appreciate you. And I say salute to you. Have yourself a God bless day and bye from our end. Thank you.